favor. Just try to be braver. Tell them haters, see you later. You will never slack up. Keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. Pressing on when they try to do you dirty. Keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. Pressing on, cause you know you never hurt me. It's survival of the fittest. Play through the final whistle. No matter what you do, the haters gon' try to dish you. You win as a catch, you lose, you're a mess. No matter what you do, you will never find success. Do you give up? Nah, we marching through the stress. Dodging shots from the owners and talking heads in the press. These haters always depressed when we secure the final catch. Come together in a stretch, that can toe but connect. Like them haters acting thirsty, go ahead, give us your best shot. Even people in Cowboys Nation hating on Prescott. It's a shame we're divided while Jerry chills on the yacht. Out here warring with each other, but we all that we got. Was the win clean Sunday? I promise you it was not. But a lot was put on the field, blood, sweat, and teardrops. We will never fear ops. Philly or San Fran, putting ops to sleep. You can call us the Sandman. And I know you can't stand that I'm DC for life. Gonna remain 10 toes and never give up the fight. And when the lights get the brightest, they need to be at their finest. Off the field, the gentlemen, but on the field, they choose violence. The season's just beginning. Back up, so out there winning. Tyrus Speed out there swimming. All our dogs out here winning. Representing Cowboys till the day that I'm done. And when them haters act tough, let them know you ain't the one. When you're back against the wall, don't you ever let up. When you stumble and fall, better get back up. When the odds aren't in your favor, just try to be braver. Tell them haters, see you later, you will never slack up. Keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. Pressing on when they try to do you dirty. Keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. Pressing on, cause you know you never hurt me. Let's go. ACF.
Yo, you know we gotta give facts over feeling. Angry Cowboys fan and sports junkie straight chillin'. If you want that raw and uncut with them Cowboys facts, put your comment in the chat, cause you know we'll talk back. Leave the hating at the door and just chill with the vibe. And if you with it, hit the like button and subscribe. If facts over feeling, this is how it's designed. So buckle up, everybody, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, Cowboys Nation? How's everybody doing tonight on this Wednesday night? How's everybody doing? How you doing, Sports Junkie?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. I'm doing good. I'm good.
All right. Y'all know what it is. This is the Facts Over Feelings podcast where we spit these facts, where we spit the facts over feelings. You know, you can bring your feelings here. You can bring your feelings on board, but let it be known that facts rule the day. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see everybody. You know how we start these things out. Got to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Angie in the building. I see you. Lee in the building. Free Your Mind is in the house. What's going on, Jared? You know, we gotta holler out everybody. Nisi in the building. Danny Savage in the house. Hey, that's the first time I seen that name. Okay. Let's see. All right, we got about 40 people up in here. It'll take a while to call you out, but if you are here and giving us your time, we truly appreciate you. 100. But on today's episode of Facts Over Feelings, we have two very knowledgeable Cowboys content creators in the building. I tell you, when I watch their videos, it's just like I get blown away. I learn a lot from these two ladies. Real talk. And if you are not subscribed to them, I highly advise that you head over. The links are in every one of our descriptions. You got something to say, Junkie?
The links, mine is in the comment section, in the chat section.
Okay. We got the links in Sports Junkie's chat. Mine's in the description, but we're going to go ahead without any further ado. We are going to bring up Cravin Cowboys in the building, and Star from Stargazer Sports is in the building. What's going on, ladies? How y'all doing?
What's up, guys?
Hey, everybody. What's up?
Really appreciate you fellas having us on for the Facts Over Feelings podcast. basically doing like a joint super show with Star Chase Girls Talk Ball and Facts Over Feelings podcast. So really excited
Right.
to be here and to fellowship and talk football with you guys.
Man.
Yeah, pretty much everything Star just said, and yeah, very excited you guys that like I say, like what she just said, invited us on, for our input. As you guys know, we do shows every Wednesday, so for you guys to take your time out and to really adjust to our schedule, to keep going on what we have going on, really appreciate you. And like she just said, I told you guys, before we even jumped on here, that I love the collab that you guys are doing, because this is really what we need, especially what we're going through right now, and even not just what's going on right now, but really just Cowboys Nation as a whole sometimes just needs that reality check. So I love what you guys have going on, and yeah, like she said, appreciate you guys having us on.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah. Y'all don't school us too bad on the ball though, man. Me and Angie was talking, man. Don't make us look silly on the ball, man. Y'all, yeah, saying let's stick to some other goops. Let's.
Yeah,
Yeah, we was chatting earlier, and I was like, these ladies know they ball. And Junkie was like, yeah, college, pros, these ladies know their ball. I mean, going to training camps and going to games, man.
Well, I mean, I just love, number one, like I said, I always say, for our shows, I love working with Star. She's like, my best friend in this space, honestly. And shout out to West Coast Cowboys. I'm sure, as you guys are, familiar with him, who actually linked us up together, to start doing, this series, like she said, Star Chaser, Girls Talk Ball every Wednesday. So, yeah, I just love the collab that we have going on. And like, if you guys do follow, we were actually able to meet up and actually do a show together. I think, a couple weekends ago for the Lions game when I was out there in Texas. So yeah, I love the collab we have going on. And I love being on with Star. She teaches me a lot, and especially as we're going on through the season, as we do go through, as we do bring in certain players, as we watch the game, when she does her film breakdowns, make sure you guys tune into those, because she does an excellent job. Has gained several followers, from her excellent work. So make sure you guys check out her work.
Yeah, I checked out her breakdown on her live. I just told Angie today. I was like, hey man, she do breakdowns too. So yeah,
Yeah,
Right, right.
yeah.
One of the very few. I may cut you off, sis, but one of the very few, women who do film breakdowns here in this space. So really do appreciate you, Star.
And
appreciate
and
you.
Star, I'll keep it a buck. I was just put on to you by Sports Junkie.
Uh huh.
Like, and I mean, I heard of your name, I heard of you on Twitter, X or
Yeah,
whatever you want to call
yeah.
it. And
Right.
I was like, all right, so follow you there, but I didn't know you had a YouTube until Sports Junkie said something, and I went to Cravin Cowboys and I seen y'all together. I was like, oh shoot,
Yep,
subscribe.
yep.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, Phyllis. I'm subscribed to both of y'all, and like I said, I really appreciate the work that y'all do, and I think it's important that y'all had this podcast, and that y'all called it the Facts Over Feelings, because um, there's a lot of emotion that goes into being a Dallas Cowboys fan. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and this is a hard season for us. We knew just emotionally, and we kind of knew after the Green Bay, I call it the Green Bay massacre. We knew that this season it just was gonna feel weird, and it doesn't help when you have the media, what I call rage baiting. Example today, some random reporter from ESPN put out this article that the Cowboys are toxic and this is a zoo, and players can't play football because people are tapping on the windows at facility tours and all of this stuff. And then one of the former players, Dante Fowler, comes out and says, "I never said this. I don't know who this even is." So it's like this. I tell people, like, the media, even our media, and then I told Mickey about this. I'm like, even our media says, like, they want chaos. They live for
Right.
chaos. They live to create chaos. So even though I'm the trusted Dallas Cowboys insider, that's great, but they still want chaos. They want to push chaos. And they would love nothing more really than for Mike McCarthy to get fired next week, for some other major injury, for the players to start fighting and talking shit about one another. They would
Right.
love for this shit to blow up. You know what I'm like, they ready for
Right.
it. They writing articles, they having it queued up. because they don't care if we win or lose, bro. These are not diehard like us here.
Right.
We're diehard Cowboys fans, but local media, ESPN stuff like these guys didn't. Some of them are. I'm not gonna say none of them are Cowboys fans, but a lot of them are not, and they don't really have a dog in the fight. You know what I'm saying? So
It gets some.
Right.
It gets some. When you write a story about the Cowboys, it gets you views. But I don't think that started this year. I think that started last year when what's the tight end Schultz when he went to
right,
Texas.
it started with Schultz.
Yeah, yeah. When he said
Right.
something about the locker room and all that, not the
Off
locker room, but the
season.
training room. So yeah,
Mhm.
that started with
Yeah,
that. You know what I'm saying? But we used to that though, so it
right.
Right.
We used
ain't
to
nothing.
it, but I think a lot of fans, it just you hear Schultz say it, and then all of a sudden now you see all these other people saying all of a sudden that
Right.
this
Because
is it.
even before when Beasley spoke about it, it's like he spoke about it, but it wasn't like in necessarily a negative light, right? He just kind of say, "Oh well, matter of factly, when I was here, yeah, it was like this. Yeah, some of the things did go through the front office, but hey, that's just how it is." But like when Schultz talked about it, it was kind of like, "Yeah, man, when I was there, yeah, I couldn't even get through practice without somebody coming through on the field." Da, 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 da. And it's like,
Right.
It's like
okay,
no
but we know that, but it's like,
fans are on
why
at
you
practice, bro. Like the fans, and granted, I'm gonna be honest, I've never been to the tours at the Star.
right,
Um, I trust Law though, and Law says that like you can't do that. Like you cannot tap on the window. So I don't know. I don't know. I know the current players they ain't gonna say nothing. These former players that are saying
right,
stuff, if they are, Dante Fowler said he ain't talked. So maybe Dorrance Armstrong and the J. Ron Curses and the Kelvin Joseph did. But I just think like with that, like J. Ron Curse, you're not even in the league right now. And then you got Kelvin Joseph, which bruh, like I'm not trying to be like disrespectful, but it's like, bruh, you were literally accomplice to murder like 2 summers ago, bruh. And in Texas, my brother
right,
was like, me and my brother was like, he's done. He's done. Like
Right.
you're going to jail. And
Somebody put that
got
today.
yeah,
right.
and
Right
Nucci
out
and Danucci, yeah,
Nucci, like you started a whole brand, bro, that's huge now. I mean, people are stealing your idea, but you started a whole brand that's huge off of the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm just like kind of confused. Like
right,
Kelvin Joseph, like, yeah, we did trade you, bro, but we traded you to Miami. We traded you as a young, inspiring rapper to a music mecca club.
Oh, man.
right.
And then you got like, bro, we like Jerry got
Pretty
you
much
out
a
of
second chance in both football
right. That's
and music.
right,
Right.
like, you pretty much so I'm just like, "What the hell?" Like, I don't know, man, and it's like Ron Curse, everybody thought you was a jag, bro, till you came and played with us, and then people started talking about you like you're a top 10 safety.
Right.
Right.
So
So do
it's
you
just been
think?
like
So do
the
you, do you think?
the
Do you think it's regret they don't play for the Cowboys no more? They don't have that because when you a Cowboy, you more like a celebrity. When you go to other teams, it's like you just if you're not elite, you're just a player. On
right,
the
you just
Cowboys, you're a
there.
celebrity. Yeah, and the Cowboys
I
just
don't know. I mean, I feel like some of these players, yeah, I do feel like Ron is bitter. I do, and I feel like Ron's uh, play decreased last year because he knew it was gonna be his last year.
Right.
I feel bad for him because, if I could name anybody that was a Dan Quinn's guy, I would have said it was Curse. And for him to not have a job, I think that's disheartening because I thought for sure Dan Quinn was gonna take him, just like he took Tyler Biotish, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler. So I think it's just kind of crazy. But I think a lot of these players, like, and I was talking about this earlier too. I was like, listen, I'm not shitting on any of the former. I wish, first of all the former Dallas Cowboys players that have left, I wish them the best. But I was like, let's not act like these players left Dallas and then all of a sudden their careers take off. And like, look at Randy Gregory. I bet you Randy Gregory to this day, he out the league now because he probably he suffered from depression. There's a lot of shit that Randy Gregory went through that we kept him in the NFL when he was suspended and brought him back and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of these players, like they feel like, all right, I'm gonna leave. I don't need Dallas. But it's like, okay, you can say that, but I'm just looking at the trajectory of the players, even our greats. The D where he left. He got a Super Bowl, but it's like, bruh, his Hall of Fame career was in Dallas.
Yeah.
Jason Witten Hall of Fame career was in Dallas. Emmitt Smith Hall of Fame career was is like they don't really go to these other teams. Yeah, some of them did
Right.
make it to the Super Bowl. Randy Gregory made it. Kelvin Joseph went. Damian Wilson, Anthony Hutchinson. Yeah, people they go to the Super Bowls, but I'm like, bro, look at their career. Look at their career. Some of them, a lot of them, not even in the Lyle Collins. Like these guys ain't even in the league no more.
Right. You know what
Right.
though?
Even
Yeah,
just as
You know what, Angry? Let me say this before you go, Angry. One
Yeah.
thing I will say though, if you a knucklehead, you want to play for Dallas because Jerry will go to bat for you. I don't care what you did. I don't care what you did. You can tell Jerry is like having your own lawyer. You know how the lawyer is client privilege. It's like that with Jerry. Hey, what you did you do it?
Right.
Yeah, I did it, Jerry. I don't worry about it. I'm gonna go to bat for you. You know
that's what
what
I'm trying to say. Like,
I'm saying?
Right.
Don't
and
worry
I'm
about
not
it. You know what I'm saying? You want to
exactly.
smoke weed? I got you. I got you. I
Exactly.
got
You
you.
want to smoke weed. You want to have a gun in the car. You want to
Yeah,
like Jerry's getting these guys out scot
yeah,
free. We know what the players of the '90s did. I
yeah.
brought that up. When I
Pac-Man.
brought up the
I remember
White House and the drugs and all of this shit. Like, bruh,
Yeah,
our players was wilding out back then. You know what I'm saying? But it's because of Jerry. These guys are on talk shows.
yeah,
Like everything. Like, so I'm trying to get people to understand. And I'm not this is not me caping for Jerry or nothing like that. And, this is not me saying, oh, there's no issue with Jerry. There's no culture issues. Like, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of these former disgruntled players, like, you don't hear Amari Cooper got shipped out of here for a fifth round pick to save cap space. You don't see Amari Cooper talking shit about us. I bet you Amari Cooper right now to this day, if they said, Amari, you want to go back to Dallas? He said, absolutely, I do.
right.
Same with Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley said, he said, I would love to go back and play with Dak right now. I play with him right now. So I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I can't say it. I'm just saying, I can't, I don't want to discredit people, but at the same time, it just feels kind of wrong and disingenuous. It
this
does feel like disgruntled employees because we didn't extend them. It does
right.
seem like
This is a no story if it's not Cowboys. It's a no story.
that. Right.
Real talk.
Go ahead, Angry.
Yeah, Mike, we are absolutely doing. That's why I left this comment on the screen. Let the ladies cook, and they come in here cooking. I love it. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, I love it. I tell you, Craven, I want to hear from you too because both of you guys, like I said, opening up the show, it's like you're a wealth of knowledge. There's a
Yep.
plethora of knowledge when we're listening to you. So
Yeah.
I really want to give you guys a chance to talk. Yeah, we'll respond, but please, take over
Yeah,
the
I
show.
mean, just going, through just kind of looking back a little bit to the bye week and just seeing some of the interview that have come out or haven't come out. I just try looking at Turpin's interview. They was so quick to say, release Turpin's interview, but I went back and watched, that all that whole minute and 30 seconds of it. They sure cut that up, nice and nice
right,
and I mean, and that's one thing I like, like Star spoke about earlier about our media kind of being, in my opinion, I just use the word sus because it's just like, okay, we had this quote from you, Kevin Watkins, but we don't have any audio, we don't have the video of what Turp said, but we had this interview they released, so we can't. So I mean, really, I can't say, oh, well, they cut it up because this is all we get. This is all we see. So unless you can provide proof of what Turpin said about what Troy Aikman spoke about on the team, I can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? They released the whole interview, so quote unquote. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So just like like Star said, just sometimes just some of that clickbait stuff and some of that rage baiting stuff is not just doesn't just come from Jerry Jones. It comes from our media and just like when we think we can have a calm bye week, you know what I'm saying? We can't even have that. It's not we can't have a calm off season. We can't have a calm season. We can't have a calm bye week. So it's just like when do we like Star said about the players? Like it's not about the fans, not solely about the fans, but it's like when do fans get a break? You know what I'm saying? Like we had to go through this whole emotional roller coaster throughout the season, up and down. Like even when Mike McCarthy spoke to about the players being kind of up, having high highs and low lows. It's just like I think about the fans. Like we have, what we think are tough, gritty wins against teams like the Steelers, which was I'll still say. 'Cause I just went back and rewatched at least the second half of the Sunday night game or Monday night game, whenever the Steelers played the Jets, of how they were able to kind of just keep the Jets from scoring the whole second half. And I kind of fell asleep on the game. It's just like when you see a defense like that, it's like you just get so ramped up. But so I still give credit to that Steelers win because I love how we played against them throughout the whole game. But when you do have low lows like the Saints, who can't seem to have won, can't seem to win a game since
The
then.
game
You know what I'm
plan.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Or even the Ravens, they are the team that they are. They're still treading along. That's definitely a credit to them. But we fought back against that. You know what I'm saying? Although albeit be late in the game, we were able to kind of claw back against them. So I do give credit where it's due with this team, but when we do have those low lows, it's just like a gut punch, and then we have a bye week where, in my opinion, I even to this day I see why because just kind of speaking to my dad, he's a Cowboys fan, so when we have our conversation going back and forth, he's just kind of like everyone always says, you don't see everyone else's owner on the radio. So when you have to hear even more noise during the bye week, when the players quote unquote have to focus, the media is so honed in on what are you gonna do during the bye week? What are you doing to focus? What are you gonna change? What are you gonna do? But here you have the owner on the radio,
Okay, yeah.
cursing out his radio host. You know what I'm saying he had the owner talking about something. Oh well, McCarthy, or he said McCarthy, but we have bad plays and bad concepts. It's just like, when do not and just to kind of focus back on the players, not just about the fans, but when do the players get a mental break? I know we talk about tour shouldn't be a distraction, but I see both sides. Like, yeah,
Right.
that
And
shouldn't really be a major distraction, but on the other side, like, what other organization? I mean, not and that's not to say there's no other organization, but other organizations have like this noise just this week on the bye week. When did they have the chance to focus? Because you have the media act like they know everything, and they have them act doing 21 questions on the presser, but it's like they're trying to focus, but then you have the owner, just running rampant on the radio. So just like it kind of just goes hand in hand. It's just like they have that environment to have to try to focus them.
I'm glad you said that. So this is kind of what I want to do. If Angry cool with it, we get ready to play San Francisco. That's where we want to end at right there.
Mhm.
But this is a facts over feelings podcast. You know what I'm saying? So we got to spit some facts. So let's start from the bye week. We got Molly Watt by the Detroit Lions. I don't think none of us having those excuses because we haven't.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you guys already talked about it, but we haven't talked about it with you. So we want to take it back
Yeah.
to the bye week. After we got Molly Watt, Jerry goes on the radio station. We all aware of his. Let's start there. What's the facts? What's the facts on that? And we're gonna move forward to like up until now. You know what I'm saying? Star, what you think?
Well,
The facts though, not the feelings, the facts.
okay. When it comes to Jerry's statement, this is how I personally feel. Number one, did I feel bad for 105.3 the fan? No, no. I did not feel bad about them, especially the guys that he talked crazy to, because I was like, these was the
Right.
same guys that got that crooked ass lawyer on the show
Yep.
to sully and denigrate my quarterback. So that was
Right.
complete lies and BS, and they called it when we were pushing back. They said it was just journalism. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Right.
So no, I did not feel bad that they got talked down to. That Jerry talked crazy to them, and I'm actually glad that he talked crazy to them. To be quite honest,
Yep.
because I feel like those guys have been very, very disrespectful to new media and has called us all sorts of names. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them still refuse to acknowledge new media or work with new media, and then they just consider, a lot of us conspiracy theorists and all of this type of BS. So, that's my personal uh, feelings on the matter with them or facts with them. Like, that's just the facts. Like, and these people, it's like, it's just to me, that was Jerry humbling them. And yeah, they can still go out and say what they want to say, but at the end of the day, they know there's certain lines that they cannot cross because if they do cross those lines, Jerry's not having it. Now, I will say this with Jerry. Is it good necessarily that it feels like Jerry, you're trying to, because he's like, I come here for pillow talk, basically. Like I come here for layup questions. I'm
Yeah,
not here to be
that's
pressed
what I was getting at. That's what I was getting
hard.
at.
Like, right, I'm not here to be pressed hard. Do I think that that's good? No, I do not. You know what I'm saying? I think you want to be able to ask Jerry these tough and these pressing questions. But then I get both sides. I get Jerry's side too when he's like, bruh, y'all have asked me the same questions 100 times. Like, y'all want me to give y'all what do y'all want me to say? I'm an idiot. I'm a dumbass owner. I'm incompetent. I'm the worst owner ever. I'm stupid as hell because I didn't sign Jerry. Like, what do you want Jerry to say? He's not going to say that. He's never going to And you have to think, if I was the GM, or if you're the GM, are you gonna go on live tele or on the radio and say, you know what? Yeah, it was my biggest regret. Like I really effed it up. You know what I'm saying when it comes
No,
to
but that,
Derrick
but that, I think that Detroit Lion game was what brought those questions on though. So I think those were, you know what I mean? Because if we'd have won that game, those questions wouldn't have got asked, right?
Right, I think so. You
You
know,
see what I'm
but
saying? So
when
I
we had
think
a
it was
win that
right.
game, the questions wouldn't got asked. But whenever we lost the next game, they would ask they would ask those
I
questions.
don't think us losing though. I think it's the way we lost.
Well, I think period. I think it's us losing period. You know what
See,
I'm saying? Because you look at the Ravens game, like we fought back in that game. The score was 28-25, but nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. They all say it's garbage time. The defense still sucks, even though they held them to one touchdown the whole second half. You know, like nobody acknowledges. To me, that's how people view the Cowboys. Like same old Cowboys, y'all always fighting to the end, but you always losing. Like so, nobody cared that we fought back. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I feel like every week, and every week that Derrick Henry has a big game, they gonna ask. They gonna be like, "So Jerry, you still feel like you couldn't afford Derrick Henry? You still feel like you shouldn't have signed Derrick Henry? You still feel like Zeke is better and all of this type of stuff?" Like they're still gonna ask, and it's like at the same time, at some point, like you're really trying to clown me. That's how it. I'm gonna be honest. Like if I was the owner GM, I would feel like you're just trying to clown me now because I've already answered your question like multiple times, and now you just keep asking me because now and we already know how you feel about it. That's what Jerry said. He's like, "Listen, I listened to the radio show, so I know how y'all feel about me. I know how y'all feel that I didn't sign Derrick Henry." And so you're trying to ask me, basically trying to sun me, and it just feels like at some point you're gonna feel a little bit disrespected. But that's just my opinion. I do get
Yeah.
though, like, no, Jerry should not be silenced in the media. But I think the key piece that was missed was Jerry said, if you guys were real football guys, or if you guys were real fans, I might listen to you. So that's why I was like, Jerry definitely listens to the fans. He definitely listens to the content creators and everything like that. And when you look at 105.3 The Fan, you look at their resume, those guys aren't football guys. Like, they never covered football. They covered baseball,
Right.
basketball.
Baseball. Mhm.
So
I don't
that's
know
their background. You know what I'm saying?
what you
Yeah.
think. What you think, Craven? But let me say something before Craven.
Yeah.
As a fan, I want them to ask because they asking the questions. I can't, because that's how I would have came at him. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I see Derrick Henry go down the sideline, it's like a slap in my face. And I think Jerry, if he just come out and say, you know what, I messed up, I didn't get him, and that's it, I think everybody will just leave it alone. But he won't leave it alone. He keep coming back to it. We can't afford it. We can't do this. And we seeing all these other teams want to do this. That's the problem. Jerry should just say, you know what, I didn't do it. We didn't. We waiting about our draft picks and just leave it alone. But he just keep like throwing it in
Yeah.
our face, man.
No,
He just,
I'm with you on that one, Sports Junkie. It's just a continuation of the denial, right? You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, I'm kind of under the weather a little bit, but it's just kind of the continuation of the actions, right? I mean, we want to see change, but he continues to say, like earlier, and a lot of people using the sound bites of where we're going to find players, where you had three different organizations who went after three wide receivers within a week. You know what I'm saying? But you're up here hollering, where are we going to get these players at? You know, where can make these moves at? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily have to be wide receiver, but you can go to, I mean, I think I'm not going to say well into the season because it is so, kind of early for, teams like us, teams like the Niners, maybe teams who are, kind of lower in the division who still have time to kind of claw back. But teams, maybe like the Jags, I'm not sure what the Colts record is, but maybe teams who are maybe on the losing side, who maybe are looking at the future, who should be looking at the future, not the Cowboys, but who should be looking at next year, maybe draft picks. You know what I'm saying? Look for those like how they went to the Titans. They see they're not going to, Will Levis kind of up and down, maybe could be injury prone, and they see they don't have really anything in Mason Rudolph. So for some reason he's still going through those ball handling, problems where just kept throwing the ball away. So it's like they say they don't really have anything really to play for this year, right? So they kind of saved D Hopkins a little bit. Hopkins is able to go to the Chiefs and kind of still make something of his career, like Adams. Not saying the Jets, in my opinion, was really a team who could, especially with the Bills kind of being a little bit ahead now. They lost that team. I mean, lost that game against the Steelers, but it's just like you kind of save the atoms if you can, because they have the pieces, to put together something. But it's just like you have teams who still have time to claw back, but you can kind of find those losing teams where you can find players who are trying to get out of those situations. So if we need key pieces, what I'm saying, for our team, why not go look at those teams? Make the phone call. But that's the thing. Like Star pointed out, you know, Jerry, like if you listen to Jerry, he actually tells you what's going on. Like, or even Steven said, like, we're not going to be the ones to make the phone call. We want people to call us. We're not going to set the market. We're going to see what the market tells you, and then come back and let us know, what the
Yeah.
number is, and then we'll work with you. I'm saying, so they're not going to be the ones. We always talk about the Cowboys being kind of reactionary, right? Instead of being
Yeah.
instead of
They're
being
definitely
pro.
That's
You know
the
what I'm
they're
saying?
problem.
definitely
So it's just like Jerry tells us what he's going to do. He's not going to do anything. So it's just like, it's just, I think that's what we kind of get upset about. It's just like, and I love the point that Star brought up about, is like, now you're just trying to sun me. Like, okay, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that, because I didn't think about that. You know what I'm saying? As an owner, like, and it's, they may not come out and say it, but they do. That lets you know they do listen to they do listen to the
they
content
be
creators, they do
talking
listen
first.
to the media, they listen to the fans. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
like you said, at this point, you're trying to make fun of me, but at the same time, okay, so we're like, okay, well, even if we are trying to play you, like, why are you still not making moves? Why are you still saying there's
Oh, but
nobody to go get? There's nothing that we can do. You know what I'm saying? So
go ahead,
we still
Angry.
have a chance. While we still have a chance as a as a 3-3 team, we still make moves and still make an effect on our team, even though we do have guys coming back. That shouldn't be the only reason that we aren't making any moves.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead,
Right.
Angry.
So if Jerry is actually listening to this podcast, if Jerry watches the Facts Over Feelings podcast, Jerry, I speak for myself when I say, dumbass boy, I'm sorry. I just got to throw that in there. I
Hey,
got to throw
and I
that in
want to,
there, Jerry.
hey, I want to say one more thing before we get to the next thing that happened in the bye week. I remember Star said it's kind of like you rubbing in my face, but Jerry set this up for us. Somebody said it right here. It just reminded me in the comments. They said that y'all forgetting about the all-in comments. See, that's where all this started right here. Jerry came out and said, "I'm going
Right.
all in." Now, his definition of all in and our definition was two different. When we heard all in, we heard we put it on the line. We doing like the Rams. We all in. We chasing it. That's how I felt.
But
That's
was that Jerry though? That was Clarence Hill, bro.
uh-huh.
Clarence Hill asked that question to Jerry. Jerry, you gonna go all in? You gonna go all in? You know what I'm saying? And Jerry's like, yeah, I'm gonna go all in on my players. And he said that. Like,
But he
we knew Jerry was not about to go all in. That is just not the way we team build. We're never gonna go Bucks and hell. Even look at the Bucks and Rams now. They never doing that shit again. I'm willing to bet $1 million. They are never gonna be like F them draft. They trying to sell their whole team now. They're like,
Yeah.
sell the whole team so we can rebuild. Everybody's trying to rebuild like we build, which is build through the draft, go and get some key, we don't get key, but go and get some free agents. And that's what you're gonna do. Nobody is going into a situation now saying, you know what, I don't care about my draft picks, I don't care about my future. I'm just gonna put it all in now. You don't see nobody doing that. The last team to do that was what, the 2021 Rams. Yeah, 2021 Rams.
All right, I got a facts over feelings question for you though.
hmm
It's 2024 right now. So
hmm
let's just say, just hypothetically, Jerry went all in. We won a Super Bowl this year, right? Would you sacrifice a Super Bowl this year to be trash the next six? One Super Bowl for six non-playoff seasons, going all in.
Can I answer that?
I want to know. I'm just saying, like, because I
Oh,
would. If they say I can have one Super Bowl this year and then be trashed for six until we have to rebuild and get drafts, I would take that offer, especially after 29 years. Oh yeah, give me that Super Bowl.
Um,
You
Me
see what I'm saying?
personally, yeah, I see what you're saying. I think, I feel what you're saying, but me personally, I wouldn't. How I would team build would be trying to build like we did in the 90s, or how the Chiefs are, or how the Patriots were, where my team is my team has a chance to win a Super Bowl every year.
Yeah,
Now, whether we win it or not, who knows, right? But I want to be in the dance every single year. That's how I would approach it. I wouldn't go Bucks or Rams style, but shout out to the GMs that do it. If y'all would do it, I personally wouldn't do it, even though it's been 30 years. But I, if I was GM, I already been to would been to multiple Super Bowls. I would have been to the Super Bowl in 2018, Super Bowl in 2016, Super Bowl 2021. Like we've had a lot of Super Bowl 2014. Like those were teams. If you just simply like 2014, bro, like Jerry, if y'all had to put just a little more effort into the defensive side of the ball, we go to the Super Bowl. If you just had to put a little bit more effort on the defensive side of the ball in 2016, we go to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? 2021, we had the team, but who did you have calling the plays? Your wonder boy Kellen Moore, who didn't give Zeke or Tony the ball, and then didn't target Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb. You see what I'm talking about? Like every year, it's like something is off. You know, it's like you got just like on Friday, we got peanut butter no jelly, you got milk no cereal. It's like we got this piece, but it's always something missing. Just like this past year, everybody thought in 2023, they're like, when you look at the point differential, I remember Colin Cowherd, he's like, look at the point differential. Look at all these teams. Every single one of these teams that had the same numbers as the Dallas Cowboys, they go to the Super Bowl. Everybody was saying this team is going to the there. We were blowing out teams so much. Dak literally, I forgot how many minutes Dak set out, but he almost set out like a full game. That's how much we was beating the crap out of teams, which is something that only really Super Bowl caliber teams do. But
Right.
the issue was we got caught up in the wee woo because we didn't have linebackers and we couldn't stop the run. It's the same song and dance, and it feel like we're back to the same. If we don't do, if we don't stop the run and we don't get a running game, we already know how this story is going to end. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same stuff. We've had two Achilles heels in the playoffs since even 2018 because people
Yep.
forget we didn't just lose that game because we couldn't stop a nosebleed on the run in the run game. We lost that game too because we couldn't run the ball.
Right.
Our
Right.
star running back, our all pro savior, Ezekiel Elliott, the Rams held him to like 50 yards.
Right.
Yep.
Hey, angry. What was you gonna say? Would you do that after you say get your answer, bro? Let's hit some of the comments because I see
Yeah,
a lot of good comments in there. What was you gonna say? Would you trade one Super Bowl for trash seasons? Because Jerry said you don't know the check I would write just to win one more Super Bowl or something like that to that nature. I'm paraphrasing, but you know what I mean.
well, would I give up 6 years for a Super Bowl right now? Yes, I would. But I just want to comment on this real quick. The logic thought rule says you can't buy a Super Bowl like in the 80s. That's why we're here now. But when you actually look at it, whether you're acquiring people through the draft, giving them contracts, or you're getting people through free agency and giving them contracts, you are buying your way to a Super Bowl. You may not be giving the check to the NFL themselves or whatever they did in the 80s, but you are buying your way to a Super Bowl. But with that whole Super Bowl question, yes, I would take one right now because it's better to take one right now and then suck for 6 years as opposed to, being around the rim for
Can I ask
29.
a question? Y'all
Right.
fan base, this current fan base with the I know people talk about, oh, we had the 5-11 season and we had the 3-3. I get all of that, but that was before social media was invented or before it was popular. You think the fan base in this current time, like the Rams rebuild, but the Rams was in the playoffs last year.
Mhm.
So even with fourth and fifth and sixth string players as they defense. So this is what I'm saying. So it's like, do y'all really think the fan base cannot handle us right now being 3-3? With
Yeah,
every loss that we have, it goes from where uh, we beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, we was on this high. We got blown out against the Lions, half strength. We're the worst team in the NFL. So I feel like, can this fan base realistically handle six years of straight up losing
we did
over
though.
and over and over again?
We did that though. But see, I think the problem with the Dallas fan base is we always have an argument until they say y'all ain't been there in 30 years. Like I be arguing with Philadelphia Eagle fans. I be debating them. I be killing them. Oh, y'all ain't done nothing. Y'all did this and this and this. But then we won one a couple years ago. We ain't won nothing. It would kill that 30-year all this argument. I
So
hate it, man.
you more worried about like what's our
No,
rebuild?
no, it's not that. It's not that. Listen. I'm cool with losing. Like I don't like losing, but I'm okay with it if you try. Like if Jerry tried, it would make me feel better. Like you saying we buying, not personally, but people say you can't do this and don't give up everything for this. I'm looking at Philadelphia Eagles. They got the same cap. I see two number one wide receivers over there. I see Saquon Barkley over there. I see a maxed out quarterback at the time over there. They got players on the defense side of the ball. Like, why is it that our cap is different than their cap? Like, I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Right.
how we look like he be trying, whether he get it or not, they trying. The Dallas
Right.
Cowboys act like they don't even try. At least that's how it looks. Hey, like,
Oh, but I have to say this though, fellas. Like, how can we say that they're not trying when for the past 3 seasons, no other team has had more wins than us but the Kansas City Chiefs. And then on top of that, no other team had more all pro and Pro Bowl players than us. I think it was we were maybe tied with the 49ers last year. So it's like it's hard. That's why it's an in between because it, you can say a team that's not trying is the Carolina Panthers. They haven't won shit. They haven't been close to winning shit, and I don't know how long. A team you could say not trying would be the Cardinals. Like there's so many teams out here that I feel like you could say these guys they are not even the Broncos. Y'all got your savior, and everybody wanted him too. They say he's better than Mike McCarthy. What's his name? What's the coach?
Hey,
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. What is he over there doing? Losing, 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 losing. He was Mr. 8 and 9 in the Saints world and F they cap up. That's why they had to re-sign 30-year-old Alvin Kamara because they don't have the cap space. So this is what I'm saying. Like we gotta. I feel like we just have to be measured in the way that we view the team. And I feel like it's hard to be measured because when you look at these, okay, the Chiefs. Wow, the Chiefs went out and got D Hop. Yeah, they did go out and get D Hop, but the only reason why they went out and got D Hop is because they literally are bare bones. They gave Patrick Mahomes nothing for 2 years. He's out there playing with Marquez Valdez Scantling, Juju Smith Schuster. We already knew the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl last year if they didn't have that defense. And then what did the Chiefs do this year? They literally traded their all pro corner and Snead and they replaced him with a rookie. Like this is what I'm saying. Like I think with the way that we team build, I really don't have an issue. Yes, I do feel like sometimes, like in certain positions, like a DT, I do wish that we would go out and get what's his name, Simmons from the Titans. So I don't want y'all to think that stars up here like we just don't need nobody. Like I'm not saying that. Like sure, I would want to go out and get Simmons. Why the hell not? Give a bird. I don't know what they're asking for, but go out and get it so that you can solidify your interior. You know what I'm saying? Because
I agree with
obviously
you. They agree
there's
with
a
you.
little bit of there's a little bit of issues there. But when we say that like the Cowboys can't team build and we can't draft and all this type of stuff and we don't know how to build teams, if that's the case, then why every time our players leave us, they go to contenders? Why are contenders getting our talent if we can't draft and we don't know how to team build? Like to this day, I regret giving up Connor McGovern. You know what I'm saying? Because I was on the team. Let's trade Zach Martin 2 to 3 years ago. We could have got most. We could have got first and second round picks, and then we could do shit like the Eagles do, where they can get a Jalen Carter. You know what I'm saying? Where they in the playoffs, but they can get a high pick. But we don't do that's the type of stuff that frustrates me in Dallas when it's time for a player to move on, and that's the difference between us and like the New England Patriots in their heyday and stuff. Like when it's time to move on from certain players, when you feel like they're regressing, go ahead and trade them with some compensation. The issue with the Cowboys is we always just letting players walk, and then you get
right.
nothing but a stupid comp pick. Connor McGovern is a starter for the Bills, and you got a fourth or fifth round pick for that guy. You should have traded him. You should have
Yeah.
or you should have traded Zach Martin. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff that bothers me about. I know Will McClay can get talent here. Period. Like I'm not worried about that. But what I'm worried about is like, how do you, when you're a consistent playoff team, you got to be able to move and shake so that you can get those valued picks at the top of the draft. But we don't do that. And then just stay put and picking at 24. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like now
Right,
we
just that middle area.
right, we did good this year, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, it would have been nice if we could have got Brian Thomas Jr. I wanted Brian Thomas Jr. He was over there playing amazing for the Jags. He would have been an amazing 1A, 1B over here. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? We didn't get him. And he went right before I picked. We could have moved up one spot, two spots. You know what I'm saying? But like this is the type of stuff that we don't really do. So that be my issue with team building. But how we build and develop through the draft, I don't have a problem with that. I don't think we have to go out and get a lot of high priced free agents. I think there's some positions you do DT, and I think that in some you can be like a Howie. People want to be Howie. It's like you can be Howie if you learn how to flip players.
But to your point, Star, do you think that sometimes when, like, I don't want to say things go wrong, but I mean just like last season, I think it was last season when they moved up for our, I think our sixth round pick for Eric Scott, but then they ended up not working out. So do you think they kind of get deterred when they do make moves? I know they don't necessarily they move like that all the time, but if they make moves like that and it doesn't work out, do you think
But
maybe that kind of plays into
I
some of their
mean,
reasoning sometimes?
if they are, they dumb as hell because, bro, we in the sixth round. You moved up in the sixth round, bro. That's not now unless there's like a jewel of a player that just happen to fall and you move up and get them. That's different. But I think like now, bro, you gotta move up. You gotta move up in the first round, and I wish we would do that because there's just players that we missed out on. Just like man, if you just move up a little bit, and then
Right.
players where it's like dang, we probably just could have got this player and we could have got this other player in a later round or something like that. So, there's just sometimes there's moves that I wish I was very pleased with the draft this year because we got all my pick hats. But year before that, 2022 draft, that was a weird draft. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I was excited and high on Mozzie, but it's like now Mozzie behind. He behind. He lost all that weight. He had shoulder surgery. So
Right, right.
he he
Schoolmaker's behind. Deuce Vaughn
right.
is, you could say, is kind
He
of behind being a healthy scratch this late into the
that's
season.
what I
It's into his
do.
second year.
So we
Exactly.
read
It
that.
feels like that whole draft class was just not good. Then you look at Jalen
Right,
Briggs, and I was looking at his passer rating and stuff. I'm like, he just has not been really doing too
right.
well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
that was kind of a
But I
bad.
think, in my opinion, like as far as the wide receiver room, I think this is what kind of plays in, just in my opinion, what kind of plays into that is because they've had so many kind of trips and falls, right? I mean, you drafted Tolbert, who's a third round pick, who we expected to kind of elevate early, but it kind of took him a while to kind of come along. Like you mentioned, Jalen Brooks, a big camp standout, but we couldn't really feature him a lot. He did play last season, but we had a Turpin that we had to try to incorporate. We had a Brandon Cooks that we had to try to incorporate, while at the same time trying to quote unquote force feed our number one wide receiver, right? With at the same time trying to incorporate 100, get plays in front of 100 Licky. So I think, and then even this year drafting a Ryan Flournoy, you know what I'm saying? Just these guys that we keep trying to, we're stacking the room, right? Even with the running back room, we kind of had like a crowd of guys that we had to kind of decipher who was best, you know what I'm saying, for our team throughout the whole offseason when we knew it was going to come down to, Zeke, Rico, you know what I'm saying? So we kind of took up these roster spots who we,
For
no,
what?
no disrespect for,
Right.
right, no disrespect for guys who we kind of knew we weren't going to kind of give the edge to, or we just want to see what they have. But we knew you guys were going to start Zeke because throughout the whole offseason we were saying, okay, so who's going to be running back two? Who's going to be running back three? Because we know they're going to have a role for Zeke. And sure enough, even with Rico standing out, here we go in week 5, week 6, whatever week 6 against the Lions, where Zeke gets more roles when Rico had an outstanding week the week before. So it's just like there's so many roster spots. There's so many things that kind of falls into a situation that here we are in week 6, week 7, the bye week, where just like we kind of I don't want to say problems, but kind of just the situation, the questions we had kind of coming into the season with the exposure of our draft picks, the questions in our wide receiver room, the questions in the running back room. I'm saying just kind of having, trying to do roster gymnastics, trying to have, and I think that kind of played into in previous years as well. We talked about the draft, like you were just talking about, sis, having to kind of work in, let go of some linebackers that we did have and end up going to other teams like a Harper. I'm saying guys that we lost. I forget the guy that went, I think he went to Washington for a little bit, but he didn't end up making the team.
Oh, John
The
Ridgeway.
Not Ridgeway, but the linebacker that ended up going there.
Oh,
I
you
forget his
got
name.
Real Cox.
Yeah, Jabril Cox. Yeah, so we ended up letting him go. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we did some of these moves that maybe wouldn't be the best, but for guys that we're trying to hang on to, like like a Josh Ball. You know what I'm saying?
I heard
Like the other tackle that we have. You know what I'm saying? So
I
we hold
saw
on
that with
just to
Liz.
just to your point, Star. We hold on to these guys who we number one either shouldn't hold on to, or we
Yep.
hold on to our veterans way too long to where they're kind of past their kind of past their impact on the team. And then we have young guys ready to come up behind them, but then young guys don't have reps because you started their starters because of politics. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's just they kind of create this whole. We talk about Jerry bringing on himself, like, and it's not just solely Jerry. We can say front office. Now with this year, kind of coaching kind of coming into play a little bit too, and just like this whole ball of conundrum that's been kind of building up over the years. We've been kind of we talk about getting over the hump, but I think at this point we've just kind of gotten so to that point where we just kind of have a big push back because of everything that all the questions that we've kind of been building up to this year and years prior with some of the roster gymnastics, some of the questions that we had with some of the guys, some of the philosophies. If Dan Quinn was effective, was he not? Will bringing in a new defensive coordinator fix all that? So it's just like with all these new questions coming into this season, along with new faces in the building, along with veterans that you're bringing in that Zimmer has had past works with, but he hasn't worked with them recently. So trying to get them worked into the scheme. So it's just like it's just so it's. I think this year is just so much going on. It's only so much that a team can really hold on and deal with, and so much you can only fix in one off season. Trying to
Right.
go into once a
y'all,
year.
Yep.
y'all hurting my feelings, man. Y'all hurting my feelings. Go ahead, angry. Y'all hurting my feelings. Star. Hey, they
I
say
mean,
Star.
we spoke about this sports junkie. 'Cause remember in the beginning of the season, you asked,
Facts
you
over feelings.
asked,
Hey,
man.
I
Yeah,
got you.
I did not think the roster was that
I
much
know it's
improved
facts
from
over
last
feelings. They
season.
say
I just didn't. I couldn't see it.
the chat say they cooking, man. Hey, this is what I'm gonna let. I want to turn it over to you, angry. But this is why y'all hurting my feelings, man. Because everything y'all saying starting to make me feel like Jerry, this soft build. See, when I came into the season, I shouldn't have had high expectations. My expectations were so high, and now I feel like I'm getting let down. And every single
Right.
game, it seemed like I started hearing different people say draft pick. See, like, go ahead.
Yeah. I
Go,
think.
go ahead,
Oh,
angry. Go ahead, man. Go ahead,
See,
man.
see, that's what I tell a lot of people. That's what I tell a lot of Cowboys fans is when you were coming into this season, we didn't get better than what we were last year. So coming into this season, hearing Jerry Jones say that he's all in on the young players and that we're going to have to do more with less, I was telling everybody just temper your expectations for this year. Just temper your
yeah.
expectations.
I agree. I
I
think
was.
that oh, keep going. Sorry.
But go ahead, because I was gonna get on this comment that I got on the screen. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
got.
I
We got to
think
touch that.
you know this is how I see it. Somebody said in the comment like, "What does Jerry mean when he say soft rebuild?" And I'm like, I think that this is the way I describe it is that we went to the playoffs 3 years in a row with the same roster. And we even added some people last year, right? We went and got Gilly, we went and got Cooks. Um, and that's why so many people had so many expectations. And so we went to the playoffs 3 times in a row. And the last time you should be getting better, right? Like you shouldn't if your team goes to the playoffs 3 times in a row, it should be better and better and better. But instead it was 2021 bad, then 2022 better, then 2023 you got blown. We fought so hard to be the second seed.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Uh,
then we faced the youngest team in the NFL. We faced the 7th seed. It was like the stars aligned for us because we remember the whole narrative last year is we can't win on the road. We suck on the road, but we're good at home. And then we go into this game, bruh, and it was the absolute like what happened in Green Bay versus Green Bay was like the absolute worst case scenario. So when you think about it as an owner, you know what I'm saying, or a GM or whatever, or maybe just think about it as yourself. It's like, could you realistically go into this season with the exact same personnel? Um, when you look at like people say, oh, we let go of Tyler Biotish. I've already said Tyler Biotish is a good center, right? But his issue is he doesn't have no power. He didn't have no push, and we could see that that was a consistent issue for us in big games. That's why we had to let him go. When you talk about Tyron Smith, the wheels are falling off. You look at how Tyron is playing for the Jets right now. It's not good. You know what I'm saying? He's not playing well. I really do feel like this will be Tyron's last year because with Zach Martin, I think he's regressed clearly, but I think he was hurt this past game. But with Tyron, I just think that the sun is setting. You know, father time comes and it's just you're done. You know what I'm saying? And then you think of the other players that we let go, the Dorrance Armstrong. I mean, these are players that the whole time that we were here, we were like, he's a jag. Please get him off the field and put Sam Williams there. So, like, when you ultimately think about these players that we let go, it's like the Neville Gallimore. He's not even on the team, bro. Like, we had to I said, we had to tear down that veteran wall. We had to tear down the veteran wall to allow these young guys who've been sitting on the bench to have a chance because as long as they were here, these young guys weren't going to have a chance. Now,
Mhm.
I think, and we did this in the 90s as well. Remember, I think it was like before we won our Super Bowl, we were old, blah, blah, blah. Then we got real, real young. I think we ended up making it to the divisional versus the Lions. We got blown out. That was the year that who was the quarter Troy got hurt, and so there was another quarterback. What was his name? I can't remember, but y'all should know. But that was the year we got super young, and we didn't do good that year. Like I said, we got bounced in the division, but then we came back the next year, and then I think that's when we won our first Super Bowl. So I think that, going in and saying we're going to get younger, I said we needed to get, I have been saying for 2 years, we got to get younger on the offensive line. I was tired of going in the playoffs and seeing all of our vets like Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins, all of them just get their asses whooped. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew we had to get younger. We needed to get stronger too. So, when people say, did we get better? You know what I'm saying? I can see how you can say, nah, we didn't get better. But I feel like I feel like the only way that you were going to ensure, sorry, I'm talking all the time. I promise I'm done after this. But the, the only way that we were going to ensure uh, that, basically what I'm saying is we were going to just have to go out. Either we were going to keep them veterans or we are going to have to go out and buy more veterans. But with that, how do you develop your young guys? Like if you're a draft and develop team, but your young guys don't play, like what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You can't either you're a draft and develop team or we draft, but our emphasis really is more so on free agency. Like we're gonna go out, we're gonna buy some big free agents. So it's like I see both sides of the coin, and I really do feel like the only thing I feel like this off season would have been a success. And I think y'all would agree with me if we had a got a premium defensive tackle, and if we had a drafted a running back, nobody would be complaining about this current roster right
I don't know. Go ahead, Angry. I don't know. I'll answer that after Angry, but I don't know. I think that'll help though.
What, getting the defensive tackle? I was gonna ask you guys like, and I know it's too early. We're 3-3 and everything, but I just want to know. I'm curious on all you guys. What first and second round of the 2025 draft? What are you going for? First two rounds.
I think you should ask the question that we don't make the play, like based off this season. Based off this season.
Yeah, based off of what you're seeing now. I don't want to say if we don't, because I don't want to put that
now.
out in the ether. You know what I'm saying?
Based
Right.
now, I probably would go wide receiver, and I probably would go running back. And I'm doing that because Cook is not going to be here next year. Uh, Tolbert is on his last year, and I think Turpin may even be on. So your wide receiver room is going to get wiped at the end of this year because it's like how many, you know, now we probably will. I don't know what we. I don't know, but I think I would definitely do wide receiver and running back. For sure. I would also consider taking a defensive end, even though we just took one this year with Marshawn Nealon. But I would consider that too. I just think that when it comes to the wide receivers in the running back room. And I feel like honestly with the wide receiver running back room, I feel like with both rooms, like, well, I don't let me not I'll speak about the wide receiver room. I feel like with the wide receiver room, like I keep saying people like I saw the vision. I saw the vision of this team versus the Steelers. I feel like that was the game. Like this is what we want to do. This is who we want to be. When you come to a point where all of your, Dak is able to. Everybody's a threat. You know what I'm saying? It's not just CD. It's everybody's a threat. Everybody can get the ball at any specific time. Then we was able to also run the ball clearly. So I feel like I have a lot of trust, a lot of faith in Turpin, um,
Me too.
in Tolbert, because I feel like both of those guys in big moments they continue to show up for us. If they didn't, then I'd be like, we need to replace him. But we forget Turpin was the only wide receiver that scored for us last year versus the Niners.
Right.
The only one. You know what I'm saying? And then you have Jalen Tolbert. I mean, this guy gets hit in the cojones, comes back in, catches the game winning touchdown on a fourth down where
Hmm.
he was blanketed. Like that's that's huge. That is
Yeah.
huge. And
Yeah.
that's the type of guys that you want on your team and the type of guys that you can trust and where you say these young fellas are ascending. I think definitely you could have brought in. That's why I wasn't that upset. Sports Junkie, you asked me, you're like, was you upset when we got when you heard the D Hop went over there to the Chiefs? And I was like, no, not necessarily, because I feel like I believe in our young wide receivers, and I feel like I've watched enough of the film to know that like these guys can perform, and they can perform at a very high level. Are they perfect? No, no, they're not perfect. They don't have the acumen of a Devontae Adams or the acumen of of Amari Cooper or D Hop, but I definitely feel like these are guys that like you can have like these are guys that I feel like you can win with these guys. I guess that's what the best way I'm trying to say it. Like these are guys that you can win with. I think that really what's missing from our offense is a solid running game. Like if we could figure that shit out, that would be great. We don't have the best running backs in the world, but I feel like we have NFL running backs that if we gave them the attempts, that these guys could actually be able to run the ball effectively. And, if we actually got the offensive line into a groove by running the ball, you know what I'm saying? Like we could have better success. But, that's just my opinion because I don't know if a running back is going to come in. And I do want to see Dalvin Cook too, but I don't know what they're doing with that situation.
Lord have mercy. Ultra Cowboy, you going crazy in the comments, dude.
Yeah, he hates that, but it's like, it's okay, man. Whatever. Let it
going
go.
going
Man,
crazy in the comments.
before we leave, I'm definitely gonna ask them that question, but I want to say that to again.
Oh, you want to say
Yeah.
that too?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just kind of chime in. I think, as far as the first two rounds, I definitely agree with the run game. I was kind of hoping from this past offseason that we kind of held on to, found a practice squad spot for. I forget his first name, but last name Pete. I really would have that wish we kind of kept him. I know he's kind of on the smaller side, but I really liked his burst in preseason. I don't think he really got a lot of run. I know we were trying to see, I know the first few games we saw trying to see what Rico had, but we did have a crowded room at running back at the time. Saw some Deuce, saw some. Actually, I don't think we saw any Lipke, but saw some Freeman in there. And I just wish that he would have got a little bit more run. I know we got some run in the third preseason game, and I really like his burst. So I'm not sure where he is now. I don't even know if he's on the squad anymore. But definitely a running back. And actually, I'll say I think I seen in the comments someone said DT. I agree with the DT position just because. Unfortunately, losing Justin Rogers. I'm not sure if we still have. The international player. I think Daxon is his last name. I really haven't heard a lot from him since training camp. So I'm assuming he's still on the team. I know they had the extra roster spot because of him. But I like how he was kind of developing in preseason as well. When I was out there at camp, I liked how he was kind of. I think just me personally, I think he needed a little bit more power at the line. I think he had some push, but just in my opinion, in camp. he didn't really have the power I saw at the line. But then, I mean, as time went on, and then in the third preseason game as well, when he got a little bit more time out there, I liked that. I thought he was progressing, in my opinion. And Justin Rogers as well. I thought it was kind of a big loss. When we lost him to another
Yeah.
squad. I think the Cincinnati. So for me, that was personally, especially when I was just kind of seeing him kind of progress a little bit. For me personally, and I'm sure for a lot of fans too, it was kind of a gut punch because it's just like we kind of see Mozzie kind of progressing. We saw, I know we kind of had some help with Phillips coming in, a little bit of help with Phillips coming in, then Ball Joseph, just them kind of bringing in vets, and we talk about the veteran leadership in some of these rooms, and I was just like, okay, so now we have a group of guys that these veterans kind of put their hands on, kind of latch on to. And just that was just really a gut punch for me because I just really think he was really coming along. So definitely the DT position. Hopefully they can kind of shore up. I don't know about the first couple rounds, but I don't really take that far of a look into draft like that. But if if there's a good amount available, maybe a third round. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be priority because we do have Mozzie coming along, and like I mentioned earlier, Denzel. I would like to see them kind of go to those two
Hey, do
positions.
you like the Cowboys almost look like a wash, rinse, repeat? Okay, we draft good, develop them, don't do nothing next round. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
almost like that because I see the Detroit Lions, one of the worst teams in years, come through. And now they kind of good. You got the Atlanta Falcons, they kind of good. What I is it? Can we put some of this on coaching? Like, let me ask you a question. If Dave Campbell this exact same roster, do you think the Dallas Cowboys would be better? If Shanahan had this exact, I'm talking about the exact same roster, do you think it would be better? We got Mike McCarthy on this 1 year deal. Do you think all this plays a part in our culture of the team? You know what I'm saying? Because I see
I
Shanahan.
don't necessarily. I don't think necessarily the 1 year deal plays into it. But I think it's kind of, in my opinion, kind of a summation of what Mike McCarthy has kind of had to go on through these past few years, and just it haven't had a big turnover on the roster as far as the offensive side. I mean, we had pretty much almost the same offense intact last season, so definitely put that on McCarthy as far as play calling or just not having the chemistry for all these with all these guys. Granted, you are down, you're wide receiver too, but just to kind of switching on and off with the play calling from week to week, definitely gets on my nerves. But I just think that as far as culture wise, like I said earlier, I think it's just kind of a summation of what's been happening the past few years. But I don't think the 1 year contracts really have much to do with that. But I don't know if your question is maybe bring in a new head coach or maybe like a different outlook. I think a different outlook could possibly change the team, but I don't know if maybe a coach like a Dan Campbell or even I think just certain players at certain parts of our roster, like maybe if we're talking about this particular roster in time right here, I don't know if necessarily be better, but possibly if we had our players back, Micah Parsons, D Law, some of our strong, hard hitters back on defense, but I definitely like the pieces that the Lions have, and I think that plays a big part
Yeah.
into the success that they have. The running back room, the running back tandem. What I'm saying, the weapons that they have. Three wide receivers that they can go to at any turn. I really think that and of course the defensive line. What I'm saying, not to mention Hutchinson. What I'm saying, I think Brian Branch. I can't remember the DB's name, but they have some pieces over there. So I think
No,
that plays a big part in their success.
I know that, but I was just mostly talking about like maybe it's just me, but I see he gets. It seems like he gets the most out of his players. Like
Who you talking about, Dan Campbell?
yes, I feel like he gets the most out of
Yeah,
his players.
I
To
feel
me.
like I feel like, with Dan Campbell, um, one, they didn't get better. They were horrible with his motivation. Um, I mean, they were winning like one or two games and then they just struck gold in the draft. Like that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like you talk about the Lions, bro, like they drafted Laporta. They drafted Laporta. They
Mhm.
drafted Javier Gibbs. They drafted Brian Branch. They drafted Aiden Hutchinson. You know what I'm saying? When teams suck so bad for so long, you just keep being at the top and you just keep getting top 10, top 15 picks. And then, right, then they flip, they drafted Jameson Williams. You drafted Amon St. Brown. But you did go in and you traded for Jared Goff, which clearly I'm gonna be honest, like I feel like if they had a built the roster, this same roster around Matthew Stafford, I mean clearly Matthew Stafford went to the Rams with a stacked roster and he won the Super Bowl. So I feel like with Jared Goff, I feel like Jared Goff is a good quarterback, but I feel like he's just capped at a certain level. I put Jared Goff. Baker. I put a lot of those quarterbacks in the same. What's up, landlord? But I
What's up,
put a lot
landlord?
of quarterbacks
Landlord.
in the same. But
What up?
you know, and the Lions, that they've added a few pieces, here and there in the free agency. They added Carlton Davis, but even their new two, they have two new corners, on Arnold, in this Rakestraw. Like all of those guys are draft picks. You know what I'm saying? I feel like with Dan Campbell, do I feel like he would win here? Um, I don't know because we have to realize that there's another layer of politics here.
Yeah,
And
Jerry.
that's what a lot of people like. It's another thing that you got to go through exactly with Jerry and with Steven. And I always tell people like, Dan Campbell, I don't know if he would come here. Dan Campbell honestly probably wouldn't come here because he probably is a coach that just wants
Right.
full control. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Kyle Shanahan. I do think that those guys are good coaches, but I also think that Mike McCarthy is a good coach because I'm like, you can't say I'm not a good coach when I've gone 12-5 3 years in a row with dealing with Jerry. Like I would be interested to see how many of these guru coaches that everybody loves, like, what would you really do here with Jerry Jones? Because you see
Right.
somebody like Shanahan, Jerry can talk crazy to him. Why can he talk crazy to him? Because as much as a guru that people think Shanahan is, you're a failure in the Super Bowl, bro. Like you never won a Super Bowl. Like so you can't. Jerry has a certain way that he treats people, and it's like if Jerry know he can control you, and the one way he knows I can control you is if you haven't even come close to doing what I've done. Like Jerry would not really have that respect for Shanahan that many people have for him. His dad maybe, and Dan Campbell, Jerry. I don't think Jerry would have no respect for him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, what have you done? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I've beaten you with my team 6 years in a row. You beat me to seventh. Congratulations. Y'all beat the
Well,
shit out of me.
I agree with you right there because Jerry didn't have no respect for Parcells. Parcells side didn't want Terrell Owens. Jerry went right over there
Exactly.
and got it.
Exactly. Jerry, and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these people, like with Jerry, and this is why I'm very hesitant on, okay, we fire Mike, but fire Mike for who? Because if we get rid of Mike McCarthy, a guy who has
For
still
some
been here and has got Kellen Moore out of here, Jason Garrett was never doing that. Jason Garrett begged him for this was Jerry's
Right.
beloved son.
Right.
This was his beloved son, and he asked, like, Daddy, can you just let me have play calling back for my last year? Jerry said, no. So it's like, you see what I'm saying? Like, so when I look at Mike McCarthy, I'm like, this man has maneuvered and finagled, and he's the one still here, not Kellen Moore, not Dan Quinn. So when you think about that type of stuff, I have to like you got you got Jerry to say, yeah, you can call plays. Like I don't know what, but that's crazy. Like when Jerry did, I never thought that Jerry was going to allow Mike McCarthy to call plays ever. Like I had zero faith in that. So the fact that he allowed that, it's like, okay, if we replace Mike McCarthy, you got to ask yourself, who you think Jerry going to replace him with? You think Bill Belichick? Jerry's gonna bring Bill Belichick here? No. Why? Because Bill Belichick can son Jerry. I have 6 Super Bowls, Jerry.
Yeah,
Like you're
yeah.
not gonna be able to tell. And I won in the modern era. I didn't win in the salary cap era where you could just buy all of these players. Like I won in this era, 6 of them. So in two, I think as a defensive coordinator, this man's got like 9 effing Super Bowls. So it's like or 7 or 8. Bill Belichick is loaded. So it's like, do you think that that would actually happen? I don't know. Maybe it will. I feel like maybe Bill could help us. He's a culture guy and stuff like that. But I think when you also look at these other coaches out here, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous because I'm really thinking the next coach is gonna be a former player. That's what I'm feeling. I feel like it's either gonna be a former player or it's gonna be they'll like elevate Zim. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how I'm feeling about Zim being my head coach. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just gonna
Right.
be honest with you. So we just have to think about that. Like, okay, we're gonna replace him. and we damn sure don't want Riverboat Run or these old or Pete
Hell
Carroll.
no.
None of those.
Hell,
Right.
hell
I
no.
don't
Hey,
want
but
Pete Carroll. I don't want those old guys.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
super chat in there, but I want to say something before it's a super chat in there from landlord. Hey, I want to say something. Hey, Star, just by you saying that right there, that is the problem. Listen to what you said. You said, do you really think Jerry is gonna let Mike call the play? That's not. Think about that. Just that little sentence right there. The owner telling the coach who he can call plays. That's not heard of. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I mean,
that's
it's
the
a.
owner in the business. You know what I mean? That's
I
the owner.
agree. I agree. Like Jerry, that's one of two things that I can't stand about Jerry. I always say it is meddling. It's like Jerry, let the coaches coach, please.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop
Right.
going in the meetings. We
Go
don't
ahead.
need you in the meetings. Let the coaches coach. And
We don't need you all in the videos
exactly,
dancing.
exactly.
Bro.
And
He did.
stop.
Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead, Andy.
And
Go ahead,
stop.
Andy.
Doing,
It's a super
uh,
chat.
oh, the super chat. Okay, y'all can read it. I think it
Yeah, I
was
just
Lance.
wanted to start. Yeah, we got the super chat from landlord from Alabama. Appreciate you, landlord. Hey, landlord, I swear, I like when I say landlord from Alabama, I hear you say landlord from Alabama with the same handle. I'm like, this is the only man that can have Alabama and handle rhyme.
Line.
Like, no,
Facts.
real talk. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Says everybody thinking the first time head coach gonna come up here gonna come up in here with enough power for them not to meddle. Hilarious. That's
That's
the thing.
that's what I'm
That's my
saying.
thing. Real talk. Like, even if you have a Bill Belichick come in here, it's so much muscle memory right now. Oh, hold on. Hold
Uh,
on. There we go. There we go. We back in effect. You know, that even if you have like a Bill Belichick or Mike Rabel or somebody like that come in here, it is so much muscle memory for Jerry Jones to meddle in the middle of things
Right.
that
Exactly.
no matter who you bring in here, whether you keep Mike McCarthy or you let somebody come in here day one, Jerry Jones is not going to take his hands off this team. And that's super unfortunate because
Right.
Right.
a narcissist doesn't realize that they are the issue. You know,
Right.
Right. And he laid
Exactly.
it out. He has laid it out. I mean, I was just saying the other day that, it's crazy that he, number one, talks about himself in third person, like, oh, the owner this, the owner that, or the GM that, you know what I'm saying? But he never likes to say, oh, I need to do this. I need to fix it about myself. It's not, or I should have did this, or I don't want to talk about what I did wrong, or what I don't want to talk about what I didn't do, or I'm not going to sit here and explain to you why I didn't do this months ago. It's always like, you're not taking full ownership, and I think that's another thing that kind of gets us fans just like you want to blame everybody else. You're like McCarthy, the other coach, the coaching staff, they have to answer these questions too. They were there for for availability this week during the bye week. The players constantly right after the game, they're literally coming off the field. They're literally coming off the field from practice, sweat dripping off their faces, but having to face the media immediately. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they don't even get that 5-minute break, 10-minute break from coming off the field to kind of decompress from practice. Just kind of get the headspace going before they had the cameras and the lights and the phones and the microphone. Like, I forget, it might have been after the Lions game, and I think someone had like their mic very close to CD's face, and CD was like, you kind of see in his face, he kind of had to like make himself not say anything. It's just like, I mean, you wouldn't like that. You coming off a bad day at work, and you know what I'm saying, someone is like, in your face, like, oh, you want to do this? You wanna do that? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that? It's like, come on, bro. Like, really, like, right now, like, I mean, I know it's part of the job. I know 32 teams got players who have to do it when they come off the field, off a win or a loss, or regardless. But it's just like McCarthy talks about it all the time, just kind of like that extra heat that kind of comes down or on the organization. So it's just like, just in my opinion, I mean, we saw the week before the Lions game, McCarthy said that going into the Lions game was going to be a similar game plan as far as the run scheme. Rico had a great game. You saw the more carries you give him, he just kind of gets going. We saw in the second half he was effective. And then here we are, not even literally in the first quarter, not even minutes into the quarter, and you see all of a sudden Zeke has 4, 5, 6 carries in a row, but not really getting much. We didn't see Rico come back until like maybe the next series or something like that. So it's just like, in my back of my mind, it's just like, to talk about the post game, it's just like, did Jerry meddle in it? Did he have his hand in it? Did Zeke talk to the coaching staff, or did he talk to Jerry himself? It's just like all these questions were floating around after the game. In the prior week, it came out we saw Clarence Hill saying, "Oh, Zeke was just totally like, I forget the word he used, but he was mind blown. He just didn't understand why he wasn't getting enough snaps. But then all of a sudden it comes out, well, just me personally watching the video of Zeke, just like, oh, yeah, I talked to him a little bit, but it's not about me. It's about the team. About us getting to where we need to be and things like that. But it's just like we kind of get that kind of blown out of proportion. So it's just like, was Jerry meddling in? So just like to your point, sis, is just like you just don't want to see that. You don't want to see the owner slash GM slash
Right.
president out there every week. You know what I mean? So it's just like other people
I have
agree with that.
I have
I
a
agree.
I have a a lot of this stuff has been going on, all the talking in the media, because things are heightened when you lose it, right? When you lose, you come off a lot for heightened. So I have a question. Can we heal this wound with a win in San Francisco? Let's kind of transition to I'm sorry, did you want to say something, Angry?
No. I like the question. Keep going, man.
Yeah. So like if because San Francisco injured. So if we go over there and lose to San Francisco, they're gonna say they injured. It's because there's no excuses. Because I don't really make no excuses. You know what I'm saying? We lose, we lost.
Right.
Can we go over there and beat San Francisco and kind of like shush the noise for at least a week? Like
let me answer this real quick. I'll keep it real quick. We ain't gonna get no props for this win.
I ain't saying props. I didn't say props. I said, can we die down the kind of quiet the noise?
Quiet down the noise. Yeah, I think we can, and I think like the fan base will settle. I mean, of course, there's gonna be people. I always say this too, though. I'm like, y'all, even if we were 6-0, nobody would care. They would be saying, yeah,
Playoffs.
let's see what y'all gonna do in the playoffs.
Right.
Because we already know y'all a good team in season, right? Y'all have all these wins, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But let's see what y'all do in playoffs. So that's why I always have to bring it back. But I do think, us winning always helps. You know what I'm saying? And it's, people complain less and cry less and stuff like that when we win. Now, I think that because of San Fran, I feel like, the fan base will cool down. Now the media know, the media is gonna be like, yeah, they was half strength, they wasn't they
Right.
not good. They're not a
Right.
good football team right now. Kyle, they're gonna start
Right.
saying
That's the excuse they're using now. Well, if there was any time to beat this team, now was the time. Why they down these players?
That's what
And it's
everybody's
like,
saying. Like they're already building it up. You see how the media does? They're already building it up because they just keep emphasizing the injury. But with us, nobody. Did you think people mentioned how we was playing with practice squad players against the best team in the NFL versus the Lions?
Damn. No.
Nobody mentioned how we're playing with practice squad players against the best offensive line in the NFL, the best running back tandem in the NFL, one of the best wide receiver cores in the NFL, with the best play caller right now because everybody wants Ben Johnson. People are really willing to cut their arms off to get Ben Johnson in the NFL. But see, nobody cared about that. You know what I'm saying? And you see how we went up to Pittsburgh versus Mike Tomlin. I think most people would kill Mike McCarthy to get Mike Tomlin because he is the poster boy of tough coach, serious, football first,
I certainly would.
He's one team with injury to Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh and beats that team. And you see that people cared about it for maybe a day. And then after that, it was y'all ain't gonna beat the Lions. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like no one with the Cowboys, it's like nobody is really gonna give us any grace really until we win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? If they will give us grace maybe too if we finally make an NFC championship, they'll be like, wow,
But see, I don't believe it. I would be a hypocrite then because
You would be a
I would though, not you or not y'all, but on my channel, I always say facts over feelings. You know what I'm saying? So what I tell people on my channel is ain't no second, ain't no silver for second, ain't no bronze for third. Because a lot of people come on my channel and say, y'all ain't made an NFC championship. The Pittsburgh Steelers did this or that. I said, I don't care about none of that. If you didn't win the chip, you know what I'm saying? You don't get to tell me about no NFC championship.
Right.
That's the comeback they use on me to Lamar Jackson. Because I say Lamar Jackson is just like that. You need to prove it in the playoffs because he got a losing playoff record.
And then like, we made it to a championship.
Yeah, he made it. And I tell him, this ain't track. This ain't track and field. This ain't track and field. It ain't no silver. You lost. You lost.
That's
You know?
true. That's true. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, because if you go to the Hall of Fame, they're not gonna say you went to this many championship. A kind of good example. It's basketball, but it's the same thing. What do Charles Barkley get clowned for when he was sitting around Shaquille O'Neal and Michael Jordan and all them? You don't got no rings.
Right.
But Charles Barkley went to the Eastern Conference Championship. He lost. so if you don't win,
if you don't have no rings, like exactly.
you lost. So don't tell me about no NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So I'll be a hypocrite if I said that.
I would personally be happy though if we did.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Right.
the best example of
I would be
that.
happy too. I would be happy too.
Right, facts.
With this year, as much as we suffered this year,
Hey,
if we
Star,
went to the NFC Championship this year,
Star, what would happen? What would happen? What would happen if we made it to the NFC Championship game? Then I went on my channel like, oh yeah, we made it to the NFC Championship. You know what they're gonna tell me? Ain't no second place. Ain't no second place. That's what they're gonna tell me. You know
you don't gotta do it on the channel. You ain't gotta do a show about it, but
yeah.
celebrate like you know what I'm saying? Because bro, we ain't been there in 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So to get there, like, it would be tough if we lost. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
to get there, I feel like would just be a calm to the storm because it would let people know, like, you know, we are a serious. I feel like the Dallas Cowboys is always we've been respected, but it's always the playoffs, the playoffs, the playoffs, the playoffs. And I feel like it would also get kind of like a monkey off our quarterback back. It would get a monkey off Mike's back. It would be a lot of stuff to just like kind of help even it out, like, you know, that we did go deeper in the playoffs, you know.
Go ahead, Henry. I know you said
Yeah,
something. It's a super chat.
I believe there's a super chat. I'll get right to it. But I truly believe that if we were to make it to an NFC Championship, the scrutiny would get even worse. Y'all can't get over the hump. Y'all can't make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, there would be a lot of positive to build off of, you know, from a sensible fan's perspective.
Right.
There would be a lot to build off of getting to the NFC
Right,
Championship.
exactly.
Right, especially with the makeup of our roster, how it looks right now, and still waiting for guys to come back, and still with the questions as when they do come back, because we still have this tough slate of games to come up, you know, in the late run of the season. As we know, the schedule kind of gets tricky, you know, for the Cowboys, going down the stretch around holidays and things like that. So, you know, and we just only been through halfway through the season. Like some of these guys is first NFL season, and they're just going through some of these trials. I mean, even Zimmer said in this press conference, like, some of the guys were, you know, wide-eyed and, you know, kind of taken aback in some of these games. So it's a good thing for these young guys to kind of get this week off, to kind of step back and realize that, you know, the actual speed of the game and how it feels to go against these tough teams, because now they get to, you know, they have a chance to get prepared for the rest of the season. And as they kind of get, hopefully, mesh back with the veterans coming back, you know, we have Bland, you know, fingers crossed, Kendrick's coming back eventually, Micah Parsons, D-Law, as those guys start to kind of, you know, migrate back to the team, they can kind of, you know, these you know, practice squad players have had the chance to kind of get these reps under their belt, so that way later in the season when we do need them, you know, for these tough games, especially those divisional games down the stretch, because as we see, Washington is, like, I think always one of the last few games we do face. So I don't know how it looks, how, you know, how of course how our record is going to look towards the end of the season, but if it looks like how it does now, you know, the NFC, not just the NFC, but the NFL looking the way it looks, you know, with some of these teams, you know, kind of being up and down week to week. You know, a lot of people talk about us being up and down, but I mean, some of these Chiefs wins, you know, their wins have been very tight, you know, against some of these teams like Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Even with I know they kind of stomped out the Niners, but they've had some tough teams. You know what I'm saying? You know, that they had to kind of, you know, pull out some of these tough wins. Even with the Bengals, that came down to a penalty, right? You know what I'm saying? So they've had some tough, you know, so the NFL could, you know, I'm not going to say wide open, but I'm saying down the stretch, you know, some of these wins. And I think it's going to be, I think it's good for our young players to get these reps, because we're going to need some of that, the strength, and they're going to need these game reps that they're getting now as they get, you know, later down the stretch of the season.
Right. They, two things. They said drop your Cash App in there. I don't know if you guys did that.
I dropped it.
And before you go and before you read that super chat, I want to say something before I forget it. Because Star said it would be good just to get to the NFC Championship. It made me think of something. If the Dallas Cowboys get to the NFC Championship, it would hurt a lot of people, because I know somebody that went on national TV and said, You know what I mean? Dak Prescott got 2 playoff games. I deserve so much money. Now a lot of these dudes' career has been made.
Exactly.
A lot of these,
Right.
careers have been made talking crazy about the Dallas Cowboys. That'll
Exactly.
kill all your content.
Exactly. Exactly. Look at how much respect the Lions got from just getting. Now the Lions went to the NFC Championship. Now people like they the best. They the best team. I mean, hell, I
Right.
said roster rise. Like y'all looking like
Right.
the best team
Go
in
ahead, Andrew, get the
football
super
right
chat.
now. So it's like, yeah, you will gain a lot of. You will gain. Yeah, there's gonna be some people like it don't matter. Y'all don't. It's like whatever. I'm saying specifically for this year. I'm not saying I want to be like the 49ers or the Eagles where we just keep getting to NFC championships or Super Bowls and
Right.
lose. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying this year specifically, if
Facts.
with the way this season has gone, everything that has happened, all the stress that the fans have been put under, I feel like we've been put under. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, it's something else. Every morning I wake up, it's just another stressor, more rage bait, a lot of stuff. Like and it's been getting hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to. I have to keep encouraging myself. Like, no, you stay who you are. Stay being an encourager. It's okay. Everybody's calling me delusional and all of this shit. That's what
We're
people
gonna
do,
get to that. We're
which
gonna get
is
to that.
fine. You know, people call me delusional because I'm not throwing in the towel right now. But whatever. But I'm just saying, like, we want to keep. I lost my train of thought, but I'm saying like this year, I think it would mean something to us. It would mean something to the true fan base, and I think it would mean something. It would build a lot of confidence in that team to where next year I feel like the players will be like, we if we get this right, we can go to the Super Bowl next year. You know,
Right.
it would be a confidence booster. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like. It would be confidence.
Go ahead, Angry, the super chat.
We got the super chat from Landlord from Alabama. Appreciate the support, Landlord. You know how the content creation is, one of the best out there. Says, I believe we can pull this game off, but why are people acting like we are the better team all of a sudden? Their defense is basically full strength. Absolutely correct.
Did he mean to say can or he meant to say can?
No, he meant to say can because a couple,
Yeah.
couple down, he says can.
But their defense is full strength.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their defense is full strength. That's what people not realize. Like they
Yeah.
don't have really no injuries like that on defense.
Yeah,
It's
but see,
all on offense.
this game is not really. If you look at the media and other people, this game is not really a Dallas Cowboys versus 49ers because it's a inside like little. They saying can Brock Purdy without his weapons is he really that good? Can he like uplift them? Like you know what I'm saying? That's like the ongoing talk right now. So that's what it's gonna be: Dak Prescott versus Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? Like who can get it done? That's how.
Right.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, that's no pain.
I think we're gonna win though. I think we're gonna pull it out.
Keep it a buck. That's a damn shame. I'm a guy. I'm a fine believer in it takes a team to win. You know, not one person should get all the glory in a win, and they shouldn't get all the smoke in a loss. It doesn't just fall on Dak Prescott. You know, I've seen a lot of Dak Prescott hate in the comments, and it's like, yo, you got to have a line in order to protect, in order to get the ball off. You got to have time in the pocket, a clean pocket.
Right, and that's one thing Brock Purdy does have over there with the Niners. We're kind of watching back their game, like their line. And that's one thing that kind of I ain't gonna say worries me because if we work towards it, I know that line can get some pressure. I know that we're missing our heavy hitters out there, but you know Brock Purdy had a lot of time. I was rewatching the Cardinals game, you know, because I know the Cardinals got the win kind of last minute, but Brock Purdy had a lot of time back there in that pocket. So we're gonna have to find some kind of semblance of pressure to be able to kind of have to get him to kind of get the ball quick out of the pocket.
Is Michael back? Is Michael back this game?
No,
Mike.
I don't think he's back this game.
Jerry says game time decision, but even even Mike McCarthy was like,
"Do we
I
win?"
don't think Cook or Bland is going to play this week.
Do we win?
I feel like if we have if we get at least Eric Kendricks back, I feel like confident that we will.
Yeah, and a Carson. I'm really hoping we get Carson back. Even if we don't get Bland, I'm really hoping we get Carson back.
So
Law
let's
Nation in the building.
What's up, Law Nation?
Law Nation in the building.
what?
And Lou's take as well. Lou's
Right,
take.
yeah, Lou. Shout out to Lou.
We got Lou.
Lou and Law.
Lord.
You got them heavy hitters in there, man. Law Nation,
Yeah.
Landlord, Lou.
See,
Who else I seen off in there? Cowboy Corner. I seen him off in there.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people up in here. That's what's
Yeah,
happening.
appreciate y'all.
appreciate y'all support.
definitely appreciate y'all coming in here and showing your support. Just to let y'all know real quick, Brandon Aubrey didn't participate because of jury duty. Deron Bland did not participate. Kalen Carsons, he was full participant. Ryan Flournoy was limited. Eric Kendricks was limited. Marissa Leofow, full participant. Micah Parsons did not participate. Jordan Phillips, full participant. John Stevens, tight
What a
end,
miracle! What a
limited.
miracle on Jordan Phillips.
Yeah.
So glad he's healthy.
His wrist got healed.
Right.
Hey, hey,
His
can I?
wrist, his wrist
Can
got healed.
I? Hey, Angry, you mind if I address something, Angry?
Of course not, man. Facts over feelings, baby.
Hey, because I want to get you guys' take on it because we all do have YouTube channels. So
Mhm.
this is something that was going on in the chat right now, and I see it a lot. I don't know if you guys heard this term. It's a big term going around. You know, you probably heard it before. It's called a Dak Prescott fanboy. Have you guys heard the term?
Mhm.
What is a Dak Prescott fanboy? What question I want to ask? You know, what's the definition? What's your definition? Because I want to make sure I understand what it means. Because I get called this a lot. You know what I mean? I'm a Dak Prescott fanboy. I'm the leader. I'm the leader.
Right. I think when people call you a Dak Prescott fanboy, it's just for the simple fact that we believe and we support our quarterback, and we say facts about our quarterback, and we don't allow dumb narratives. Like,
Right.
I think Ultra Cowboy Dak sucks. He's the problem. It's like Dak was all pro. He's an all pro quarterback, bro. He should have been an MVP. He got stolen from him. Like, come on, man. Like, if you're still saying that Dak, but that's why I'm just like, don't even entertain that type of stuff, because I'm like, when you just go and look at the film versus the Lions, yeah, we didn't score, but when you see the types of throws Dak was making with 300-pound linemen literally caving his chest in,
Right.
you'll shut up about Dak Prescott. You'll say, man, Dak really probably is not the problem. You know what I'm saying? I feel like our offensive line, that's another thing. I feel like both sides of the ball, but especially our offensive line, like, we've got to get that shit down. Like, we've got to be better, because
Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, you just don't. Dak took way too many hits last game. Like,
Yeah,
way
he
too
did.
many hits, way
He
too
did.
many.
He
And I'm
did.
like, we gotta do better protecting him, period. Or we have no
Yeah.
chance, because if that's for any quarterback. Like, a quarterback's not gonna play good. Y'all remember how Mahomes looked when he was under assault in that Buck Super
Right.
Bowl? He was horrible. You know what I'm saying? And he was even making passes. He's falling on the ground making passes, but it's like, regardless, bro, like, you're not gonna win if you don't have time to assess the field and get the ball out. Like, that's just and then when they're forcing it, because okay, then their clock gets sped up. All right, throw it fast, get it out fast. Then you make a mistake. Then you throwing it's just a
Yeah.
a snowball effect of disaster.
Yeah,
But
we even saw that when the Niners just played the Chiefs the other night. I mean, granted, the Chiefs kind of ran away with it towards, I think, halftime or so, but even in the beginning, they were getting turnovers. The defensive line, both Mahomes and Purdy were both under heavy pressure in the beginning of that game. It started off as a defensive
they were
game,
pretty
so
bad. They were pretty
that's gonna be important. And that's one thing. I mean, you brought the O line. Sis, do you think we put? I see you guys mentioning Guyton in the chat. Do you think, number one, he comes back healthy this week,
absolutely.
and that we definitely? So you're answering. We definitely
Yeah,
put him back
I'm
at
like,
left tackle.
absolutely. We're putting Guyton
Who?
right back out there, and we should put
Who?
him
Who
back.
did you say?
Tyler Guyton.
Tyler
Oh,
Guyton.
okay.
I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, he's coming back, and we definitely gonna put him back out there.
yeah,
Put my all pro guard back where he belongs, because I'm like, a reason why we struggle on the interior, we couldn't run, because I'm like, go back and watch the film. You look at the Giants game, you look at the Steelers game. The super duo, BB and Tyler Smith. That's the super duo. It used to be Zach
yeah,
Martin and Terrence Steele, but they kind of struggling over there.
yeah,
Hopefully they get back to where they need to be. But the secret sauce of the interior is BB and Tyler Smith. And when we put Tyler Smith out there on that island, he becomes just a mortal guy. It's not that Tyler Smith is a bad tackle or anything like that. Yes,
yeah,
but he is a what they call a god at guard. I'm a god at guard. I'm not that at tackle. I'm good. I can kick out there for a couple of games to help us out. But having him live out there, like, nah, bro, and you can help out your tackles, right? You can chip, you can there's a lot of things you can do, but that can't. What is that gonna do? Like you saw how it looked when Zach Martin is getting beat, when Tyler Bass is
Yeah.
getting beat. The pressure comes to Dak. So if the tackles are getting beat, Dak can step up and maneuver, run outside. Like there's different things he can do. But as soon as he hiked the ball, and there's two defensive tackles in his face
Right.
immediately, people talking about he needs to run more. Bro, where I'm gonna run to? You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as I said hut,
Right.
I got 300-pound linemen in my face. Like, what is Dak supposed to do with that? Where I'm supposed to run? And we saw him try to escape. And guess where he escaped into? More defenders.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
And
but I'm not gonna lie. All that might be true about the line, but when we played Pittsburgh, I promised. I'm not making this up. When we got the ball back with the time left, I hit my homeboy and told him, bet me 50 we win this game. When it's only like a minute left or two to win a game, I got all the faith in that. It seemed like he better with the 2 minutes. Under 2 minutes, when you get him
Yeah.
the ball, we
Yeah,
about to
that's
win this game.
and some Turpin leaked it. I don't think he was supposed to say that, but
He
you
said
know
what?
how the media is. He said that because they were like, "What y'all been working on? What y'all been working on?"
Right.
Bye week, and he's like, "Tempo. We've been really working on tempo. We know that's what's best for Dad. We trying to do that." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "God damn it, I hate the media so much because I'm like,
Right. Right.
you
Rico too. He spoke about what
trying
they were talking about. Changing how they, working the run game and things like that. They, we saw what Overshown talk about. He's what position he's going to start off with. It's the younger guys. And I know Turpin isn't young like that,
the
but it's like
media is so
maybe they're
nasty.
not used to
They know
media.
what
Yeah.
they're doing, bro. They know what they're doing.
Right.
So what position you playing? Oh, you
Do
playing
that.
that? Like, come on,
Right.
Maybe
Right.
that's
and
maybe
answer.
that's a good game plan. No huddle. Maybe that's a good game plan for Dak. Don't give them time enough to switch. Just
Everybody been saying that. Like that's
Right.
really when
Facts.
Dak is at his premium. Like when that can just that's what helped Dak get into a rhythm.
Right. But
The
they were doing it week
concept
one.
of it,
They were doing
right?
it week one. Never returned to it.
The
Go
right.
ahead.
concept and stuff like it just
I know,
don't work. But anyway, go ahead.
I
And
know.
the comment that I have on the screen, I did a video on this previously. He says line matters the most. I'm a firm believer that the line should be getting paid the most in the NFL, just for the simple fact that if the line don't go, we don't go.
Right, we
You know,
cook.
if
We
your
cook.
line does not hold up, how much time does your quarterback have in the pocket? It
Facts.
all boils down to the complementary side of football. And I said in the video that it's not just offense, defense, special teams. It's, the owner complimenting the coaches complimenting the position coaches complimenting the players, and the players complimenting each other on the field. So if your line is breaking down, like Terrence Steele is having an issue on the right side, and I believe that Zach Martin is regressing because he's trying his hardest to help out Terrence Steele on that side, and people are leaking through. You have a rookie at the center position that is not seeming to understand to to hike the ball, hit your help the block out, but then go back to your position because there's people stunting around you. So I truly feel that if the line can get better, and it takes time to get better, we have rookies on there, so it's gonna take time to get better.
Mhm.
And with that time is gonna come timing from the quarterback, and then everything is going to snap. Everything is going to snap into place, but unfortunately, it's not going to be this year. You
Yeah,
know,
I believe our offensive line started going down when we lost the quarterback of the Travis. When Travis was it
Frederick.
Fredericks? Yeah, when he retired for his situation. I think that's when our offensive line kind of, in my opinion, kind of started going down. I think he was like the quarterback of that offensive line, man.
Right, and I mean that's what we've been trying to because every good team or top NFL team has a nasty center. Philly had it for years. The Chiefs have it. The Ravens have it. The Lions have it. And so that's what we're trying to get to. And it's like our guy Cooper, like he's got the power. He's got all of that. His issue is, and Mike McCarthy spoke about it, is they're running stunts and games on him because they know he's a rookie center and he's new at this position. And so that's where a lot of things is happening is that, Cooper, he's a mauler. So a shout out to my guy Lou. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but he called them the three guards. He says the three guards, because he's like, Cooper is not yet used to the sorting that you have to do as at a center where you're because at a guard, you're just trying to destroy the guy in front of you, like just destroy him. But Cooper, he gets so focused on the block where he's like, I'm trying to kill this guy, and then they're sending stunts at him, and so he's got this guy, but now a guy just came and sacked that. You know what I'm saying? So there's some things that are we knew we was gonna have to take some growing pains with our young linemen, and
Right.
I just think that they only can get better with reps. That's what it is. And you spoke about that earlier in the show, sis. Like all these young guys, they can only get better with the reps. Like they can't
Yeah.
get better on the bench. You can look at so much film, but like, bro, that's why I feel like Mike McCarthy. Hopefully, it helps. I'm not saying it will, but hopefully, him saying, f the individual stuff. Like y'all gonna have to put in that work after practice or do whatever the hell. Spend extra time with the coaches on the individual, but he's like,
Right.
we got to do more stuff as a team because what's coming, we're looking at stuff at practice and we're like, oh yeah, they looking good, and then we come in the game and they look completely disjointed. It's because you're not doing enough. Like what I feel like the Dallas Cowboys really missing, I don't think it's personnel or stuff like that. Yeah, we could upgrade, but I'm like, it's the mentality, it's the mindset. Like I said, the '90s players, they was wilding out. You know what I'm saying? But they still had the brotherhood and the togetherness, and I watched a documentary earlier about the '78 Cowboys who we got to the Super Bowl, but we didn't win that year. But you could just see like there's gotta be a certain time that your team comes together and they're moving as like one spirit because that's really
Right.
how you win. It's not who the Chiefs didn't have the best personnel that last year.
Right.
Wait, they does not have the best. They were not the best team. It was clearly the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? But they beat the Ravens because they know how to play together as one spirit, and I feel like that's what we're missing with our guys. It's like, can y'all get to a point where y'all can play as one? Because once we get to that point, we're gonna start seeing an uptick in a better version of ourselves. But because even what's his name? Overshawn said it. He said, bro, when we look at the film, he said it ain't nothing crazy. It's literally one person out of position or two
Mhm.
people out of position. It's simple stuff
Right.
that it's like, bro, you got to do your job. Like, if you don't do your job, no one else can do theirs. So it's like once
Yeah.
these guys start playing for their brother and having full trust, that's when you'll see the team look a lot better. And I also feel like you can bond together through trauma. You can bond together through adversity. And I feel like
Absolutely.
I mean, if this ain't adversity, I don't know what is. You got Jerry talking crazy every week. You got Mike McCarthy on 1 year deal. You got everybody saying your wide receivers are the worst in the league. You don't have NFL this. You don't have like you have so many people saying y'all suck. Y'all
Yeah.
aren't good. Let's plan for the draft. So I feel like if y'all cannot band together as brothers and feel like if this, we're gonna do our best to disprove this, then it's like you never will and you just don't have the right guys. Because that's what I'm saying. I hate to say that shit like Steven say, we need to get the right kind of guys. But I'm like, hey, the '90s players, the '70s players, like those were the those were just players that fully bought in and embraced being a Dallas Cowboy. And I'm like, the lights and the glitz and the glamour has been here. Jerry learned how to be Jerry from what's his name, Tex Stram, our former owner. Because they were all about, we America's team, we got fans everywhere. We got this, we gonna bring the cheerleaders out. Like it was all about big money, big money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Big fanfare. I mean, they got what 6, 7 prime games a
Exactly.
year. You know what
They
I'm
were
saying?
I didn't
So
even know that. I had to watch a documentary and they were like, yeah, we were prime in the '70s. We were prime time. It didn't matter where the Cowboys went. Fans full of Cowboy fans. So
right.
we've always been that it
Right, and
team.
they talk about that too. The players talk about that too about even Mike McCarthy spoke about playing, being the underdog, having that mindset, just being in that feeling, going into the stadium. Like a lot of players mentioned that Cowboys fans travel well. I even I'm sure fans who go to away games see that you mostly see those white jerseys or whatever jersey they decide to wear in the stadium in that game because we travel so well. We just have that mentality about our team just to show support wherever they do play.
They say
Yeah.
Star is cooking. They say
So
Star
that's
is
I
cooking.
just think we just got to get the right mindset, and I think that you got to get the players that can perform with that because we've always been in the lights. And we're not gonna stop being in the lights, unfortunately. The way Jerry built his shit up, we ain't never gonna not be in the lights. But we
Right.
have to have the players that say, Yeah, we in the lights. But to see the difference between the 70s and the 90s players, they embrace that shit. They're like, yeah, we know we those dudes. We know people follow us all over, and we embrace that. We don't shy
Right.
away from that. We actually live for this. We live for the lights. We want to be on prime time because we're ready to show people this is why we got our name. This is why we have fans. But it feels like some of the players we got now is like I say our team is weak minded. I wouldn't say soft because that can be kind of offensive, but
Yeah,
you're
that's what they
weak
said.
minded. You're weak minded because you're saying that you can't be a great player because of fan tours and Jerry coming into practice on a private jet. Like that to me it sounds like excuses. And it sounds like you don't really have as a player the mental fortitude to be able to cuz what about the individual? Fans ain't going to your house. Fans is not there on the practice field after the where you can be doing one-on-one with your coaches and your guys. Like you blaming because fans can see you training lifting weights? That's the issue? Like, come on, man. Like, I just
No,
feel
I
like
think
there's a difference
I
between
think it's more so about everything just football. With Jerry, I don't think football is first. Like with like a Bill Parcells, not
he's
Bill Parcells,
not.
but Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is football. Like I don't want to answer questions. I don't want to. You not coming in here. This is football. Like you know what I mean. And our culture is not. It's not like
You're right. It's not
football.
football first, but I'm like,
You
was
know what I
it
mean?
football first in the 70s with our owners? Was it football first in the 90s? Yes, Jimmy had it. We had a coach that he was able to manage all those crazy personalities. And yeah, they went to the White House and they was doing drugs and doing all that stuff, but he still had it to where the team was able to fully lock in when it came to football. And that's why people don't really care about the stuff in the past because they're like, yeah, they did all that stuff, but guess what? We still won. You know what I'm saying? We still
Maybe he need
won.
to bring it. Maybe he need to go call Jimmy. Man, how much is it gonna take you to?
I mean, I would love for Jimmy to help, and I do think Jimmy had a big part in telling Jerry this offseason, like, go younger, Jerry. Like, yes, you may not get the results you want this year, but the way they turned around the Cowboys and because we were not good in the 80s, but we turned it around in the 90s is when we really went younger. We
Yeah.
went younger. We got these different coaches, and we started making that shit happen. And so I feel like I just feel like the players gotta, and it does play. Sports Junkie, you asked about it. It does. Coaching 100% goes into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, coaching, culture, because that's what Jimmy was. Even with all the craziness, and Tom Landry, even with all the craziness, those were coaches that uh, players fully submitted to. They
Right.
fully submitted to them, their
Hey,
way.
Right. That full trust in them.
Angry. I got a question. Unless you have something to say.
Just real quick, Lamont Graham, wondering where Lyle Collins is. Last spotting was with the Buffalo Bills. He had an
But
injury, an ACL and MCL injury as a Bengal in 2022, and had been traded to the Dallas Cowboys. We had him, but then went to the Buffalo Bills, and now he's doing whatever he can to get playing time for the Buffalo Bills. But go ahead, Junkie.
I asked this question. I think the other day on one of my on a live we had maybe or one of my videos. I got a question for Star and Craven. Um, you just said right now that they won back in the day with Jimmy and all this stuff. My question is, where did Jerry Jones change at? Because I asked this question. I think maybe you remember this, Angry. I asked somebody else this other day. Where did Jerry Jones change? Because back in the day, Jerry Jones would plunge, go get Dion, go get Charles Haley, he go get the dude that had the shaky background from Carolina. He would go bring. Jerry Jones didn't care if you had talent. I go get To when Parcells don't want him. Jerry Jones would make moves, but now it's to the point he seems like he doesn't do that no more. Where did he change at? Like where did you understand?
I think.
go ahead.
Oh, what I was gonna say is that I don't. I'm not gonna say that Jerry necessarily. Well, I'm not gonna say I can't say that he didn't change, but I think maybe what kind of could factor into that because we kind of spoke about it earlier, and in my opinion, it's kind of like a double edged sword. We talk about the just the impact that young players have had on our organization and undrafted players as well. Like we just see, we have a long list. We have players like Marquise Bell, Hunter Lipke that they drew up plays for last season, and we have Wanye Thomas, who I think can still show impact on the team, who we have have yet to see. we had these guys. Even I believe Rico Dowdle was undrafted. Who's still having a little impact to this day. So I
Mhm.
just think I'm not gonna say that's their full excuse, but having gone through trials and just seeing that, and I'm not saying these have been huge, major changes for our team. Not saying they made major impacts, but I think they just kind of seen that, as we spoke to earlier, just Cowboys kind of, and even Jerry kind of admitted that, saying just kind of remain kind of competitive in the middle type, so they had no problem kind of going after some of these guys who may be undrafted, or maybe after going guys who were maybe in lower rounds. They say they had a Deron Bland who kind of popped, broke the interceptions in the league, what last season, couple seasons ago. So they see that maybe some of these, I guess maybe you call it maybe low risk guys, maybe or later round guys who have made an impact on our team,
Right.
and maybe they kind of and maybe they just kind of taken that, maybe just kind of maybe kind of use that as a crutch, going through the draft, going through these undrafted guys who made an impact on the team, and maybe just kind of use that as an excuse to not get the bigger name guys, and even just in recent years going at the guys, maybe getting like Limbaugh, Joseph, bringing in a room full of guys like they had in the running back room, a room full of guys that they had in the linebacker room when they just solely kind of needed bodies in the room. They would just got a whole group of guys, so kind of like the cheap way. And we're not competitive right now, but we're 500, right? We still quote unquote have a chance to make the most out of this season. So I just think they're kind of using that as kind of a crutch as to why they don't necessarily make those big moves as we've seen, in years past.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do
Go
you
ahead.
think if this was 1990, but current day, Jerry Jones goes, he tries to get Henry, he tries to get Devontae Adams, he tries to go get like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? He tries. I ain't saying he would have done it, but he would at least try. Now it's like he don't even try. So that's what I was asking. Where did it change? Because he wasn't
Yeah,
always like this.
I
Is the
think
old
it changed.
age?
I think no, I think it was one, the salary cap happened. And we forget, like, the salary cap was invented because of Jerry.
Yeah.
Because people
Right.
were tired of
Right.
him going out and writing checks to everybody and loading the team up. Like, it was OP, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Down
It's like
team.
when you play
Jerry's like,
Madden and every single player on your team got an X factor. It's like, bro, like, what the hell? Like, who's gonna be defeating this team? So it's like that was a change. But I think also what changed too is they started doing there was some crazy shit that they was doing in like the early 2000s. You know, trading away all the draft picks and getting these guys that were buzz. I think one of them was a quarterback, Brandon Wheaton or something. I don't know, but they started doing a lot of stuff. Where they was like, "F these picks, we gonna do this, we gonna do that," and it was to the point where I think it basically, once he decided to say, "Okay, I'm gonna give Steven more say," Steven basically, because of basically the way they F things up in the 2000s, it was like, Jerry, the way we run this team now, like, we're gonna run it into the ground. So it's like, okay,
True.
basically you gave the permission to Steven, like, okay, hey, fix this. And what Steven does is like, Steven, I love that you manage. I love that we always have this money and XYZ. And I think it's important because we don't have to deal with the let's sign this 30-year-old running back so that we can have cap space and all this stuff. And I really do think, this is a side note, they need to start having penalties for being over the cap, because, like, what the fuck, what, sorry, not it, but what the heck is the point of having a salary cap if people can just be 30, 40, 50, $60 million over and then there's no consequences? I think that's dumb. But,
NBA,
Right.
NBA,
but,
right?
right.
Doesn't the NBA have something like that? Like you got to pay like a luxury tax or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's like you're supposed to give
Oh
up
wow.
a pick or something. It's supposed to be some type of punishment. But even with that, I think that basically when Jerry
Hey,
gave
what's good, Vaj?
what's up, Vaj? I think
Oh, another heavy hitter.
When Jerry gave Steven, like, here you go, Steven, fix this shit. Fix this shit, Rich. When he said, "Hey, fix this,"
Right.
Steve fixed it. But I think Jerry and Steven, if Jerry was still his self, where he's like, I'm the risk taker, and then we have Steven that manages the cap, put y'all's two, then you added in Will McClay, who is a talent savant. If y'all
Right.
would truly all work together and take risks, you don't have to take a whole lot of risk consistently. But when you think, okay, we've got a guy, we've got the team this year. Okay, now I'm gonna send Jerry. Jerry, go out there, go get us this player. This is the one key player we need. It's like combine y'all stuff, but now it feels like it's more so everything is Steven's way and Jerry is just the face. And we gotta know, like, Steven is not a football guy. Steven he's got an engineer degree,
Right.
so he's a businessman. He doesn't see he doesn't have the same passion as Jerry did,
Right.
where Jerry built this shit from the ground up. Put his whole life savings, his whole family at risk to buy the Cowboys. So it's just different. But I
And that's
feel
why you
like
can't tell him nothing.
right. That's a big
That's why.
reason.
That's
Like Jerry put everything he had. He
Yeah.
tells the story all the time. Like I put everything I had into this team, and everybody called me an idiot when I did it. They said you're
yeah.
an idiot,
Yeah.
family. You put everybody at risk, Jerry.
And
And he
in his defense, if I did that, you couldn't tell me shit. If in his defense, if I did that, you can't tell me shit. I do
I,
what I want. And then
right.
he says this too. He always says the buck stops with me. That's why I blame Jerry. He
He
says
does
the
say
buck
it.
stops. I don't care what Steve and them say. Don't nothing happen
Stops
unless
with me.
I say it.
He said it stops with me, and I feel like Jerry feels like he's not confident because his kids are not him. He doesn't have a Jerry is a I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but this is like a media big time mogul. He is an icon, really. You know what I'm saying? We can't stand it, but Jerry Jones is an icon.
Hall of Famer.
And he
Right.
doesn't feel like his kids, like, do y'all have that to where you can push your weight around, where you can carry that Jerry Jones mantle? Jerry don't feel confident in it because Steven is not like him. Jerry Jones Jr. is not like him. Charlotte is not like him. So I feel like Jerry is not retiring. He's holding on because he don't feel confident that that if I give everything I have into your hands, y'all gonna keep my business up. And this is really all Jerry got. Jerry gonna pass in the next 10 years, like this is all he has, you know what I'm saying? So I can see as an old person why you like, I'm not letting it go. I don't care what y'all say, I ain't letting it go. Period.
Right.
Right. And real quick, I just want to say, guys, I've seen a lot in the comment section in the chat saying that these ladies are cooking, that these queens are cooking. I want to let you guys know that in the description in Sports Junkies chat himself, he has their YouTubes. Go over to their YouTubes, subscribe to their channel to get this Cowboys cooking, because Facts Over Feelings podcast, we want to bring people up here to highlight the beautiful, wonderful Cowboys content creators we have on this platform and other platforms. This is why we do this. So make sure you head over to both their channels and subscribe to their work. They are very knowledgeable. I appreciate having you guys.
Right.
Well, sorry, you ladies on the channel. Thank you so much. But keep going.
And another thing I want to say too is I got like another 15 minutes, but then I got to get ready to go. But in closing, I kind of want to wrap it up a little bit. I kind of want to get you guys, let's get back into like the truth, like the facts, like how we like to call this facts over feelings. I want you guys to tell me. I'm a fan. I'm a diehard fan. What would you tell me, like for my expectations for this season? Would you tell me like, oh yeah, we're not gonna really go nowhere, but we should be okay, over 500 team, a playoff team, but don't? What would you tell me as a fan? You know what I mean? Like, what would you two tell me? You know what I mean?
You wanna go first? You can go first.
Yeah, I will. And before I go,
Don't like. Yeah, go ahead.
and before I go out, I'm gonna say shout out to landlord for sending to the cash app. I really appreciate you, fam. Really appreciate you. But and I'll go ahead and say that as a fan, because even like I spoke about earlier, like just kind of seeing everything that was.
You talking to a fan?
Yeah. I say I'm talking to you, a fan, and I'll speak to you as a fan because like I said, kind of just going through the off season, these pack of off season. I'll say just kind of the up and downness of everything going through the season, and just seeing what this bye week has kind of presented us with. For me, kind of the realization is kind of setting in. It's kind of like I'll say I had hope as far as like just thinking that this team, and I'm not just honing on the players. I'm talking about this team in general, like the mishaps with the coaching, the mishaps with ownership, and GM not making, too many moves. You know what I'm saying? Just the whole change and, philosophies, bringing a new coach. And I love that they brought in Zimmer. I don't think they should, I think Zimmer deserves another year and, another contract. Mike McCarthy as well. And I know we kind of had, I just speak for myself, like I said, not, having consistency with the play calling, but you can't always loop in previous years, but I do like that he's guided us to the playoffs the last 3 seasons. And I think with consistency and there's not so much, overbearingness from Jerry and some of the things they're playing. I want to know what Schottenheimer's doing. I want to know what him and the guy that they brought in from Boston College. What kind of scheme they're trying to, kind of trying to get going for our players. I want to see it if there is going to be a change. Coming out of this bye week, we see out of the past couple of years. They do tend to improve coming out of the bye week. So I'll say, speaking to a fan, as a fan, I still have some optimism left. I'll never be out in the season when our record is 500. You know what I'm saying? Even Slate, like they've been saying, with a chance to come out the bye week, especially looking around other teams and looking around the NFL and just seeing that it's literally week to week. The parity is definitely settling in as we go in, through these seasons in the NFL. We see that it's getting a little bit more balanced. We see teams that you don't have to be good, and they can, beat teams that you don't expect to lose. So I'm saying I haven't lost hope on the team, and I don't think fans should lose hope. I definitely don't think we should look into the draft already, especially when we wait all off season. We're literally begging for football, you guys, and now week 6, and you want to talk about looking into the draft of next year. I think that's just what I'm saying, that to me that's just, I don't want to use a word as strong as ignorance, but I'm just like, if you're waiting for something for so long, I'm not going to skip over the rest of the season when I have football to enjoy for the next 10 weeks. So I'm going to enjoy my 500 team and think that we have a chance to kind of turn around, especially with how up and down these teams all around us are. So I don't think fans should lose hope or look to the next year. And I think that, it's definitely a mountain of things, but if we have better play calling, if these players can come out with more intensity, have a change in mindset, what I'm saying? If we do, we do have guys coming back to get that can, strongly impact our team. It's not just guys coming back who, maybe second or third tier. We kind of had the opposite, right? We definitely have guys to look forward to come back and impact the team. So I'm not out on the season. I don't think fans should be out on the season as well. And I think that there is a slight window for the season. I don't necessarily know, like me right now, playoffs and beyond that. That's for me. I'm definitely going week to week. You know what I'm saying? I definitely advise fans to go week to week and don't invest so many. And I'm definitely, for me as a fan, I'm definitely kind of dialing back a little bit emotionally as far. But I'm definitely going to be vested in what moves my team makes. How they're progressing week to week and just seeing how they can finish out this season. My eyes are definitely still on 2024.
Okay.
Back.
Okay.
Um, what I was well, first of all, I want to thank Landlord and Angie for donating to my Cash App. I really appreciate that, and thank you to everybody who subscribed. I got like 6 new, five
Right.
new subscribers. So I
Right.
appreciate
Facts.
everybody who subscribed. I really do. That
Right.
means a lot to me. But this is what I'll say to Cowboys Nation is that um, when I truly became like a fan fanatic, like I said today online, I was like, Dallas Cowboys is not in my blood. Like I'm not a third generation Dallas Cowboys fan, nothing like that. Like my family, like we're like casual fans. You know what I'm saying? But they're casual fans, but they not like, we bleed silver and blue. The whole family got old jerseys, everything. Like, no, that's not how we are. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I wasn't alive in the 70s. And in the 90s, the last time we won, I was just a little baby. I was only 2 years old. So, I don't have any recollection. So I have to go back and watch documentaries and stuff to like really get a feel of the team at that time. But I really became a super fan in 2020. And I was like, what a crazy year to become a super fan because, that's the year Dak goes out. We had the worst defense in franchise history. It was a bad year. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, even through that year, I had content creators, Law, Mark Holmes, Boss, who even in that year we didn't have no quarterback. Our defense was terrible. It was like, bro, we ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's really nothing to really look forward to. And I remember every week it was like we finished the season 6-10, but we was still like, bro, we could still make playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like that's what being I had to remind fans that like this, guys, is for fun. We are fans of a sports team. And you got to take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna win every year. We want to go to the Super Bowl every year, but we not gonna go to the Super Bowl every year. And we as Cowboy fans know we ain't going to the Super Bowl every year, but we still support and love this team because this is our team. This is who we've chosen to support, who we've chosen to love through thick and thin. And we are at a 3-3, guys. You know what I'm saying? We're not 0-6. We're not 1-5.
Right.
And we have beat a really good team. You know what I'm saying? You might not say the Browns are not very good right now, so I'll give you that. You'll say the Giants aren't good, but we still beat a very good Pittsburgh Steelers team who is 5-2 now. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they're trying to get another wide receiver, that's gonna be a playoff team. I think
Right.
Mike Tomlin is very serious to the point where he's not even declaring a quarterback because
Sis, did you see him at that game?
he wants Justin
Look,
Fields and Russell Wilson competing every week because Tomlin is serious.
facts.
They're like, bro, we could go deep this
And
year.
with that defense, look, the
That
AFC better watch out. Y'all thought it was Ravens and Chiefs. Y'all going back and forth. Silently, Steelers is over here plotting. Steelers
Exactly.
is
That
plotting.
defense, like they not playing around. So when you look at that type of stuff and you realize the situation, like Cowboys fans, I say all of this to say, like, bro, there's always hope. You know what I'm saying? And the Boss Cowboys tells a story about how the '70s Cowboys, his mom would tell him like there were games where it's like, there's just no way possible we could win. But the Cowboys would pull it out some way. It's like, how the hell did y'all pull that off? And I'm just like, that's our story as a Cowboys fan. Like, we are the team that, you know, we're the underdogs. People don't believe in us and all of this type of stuff. But we rise against that. You know what I'm saying? And we compete anyway. And that's how we've earned this respect through all of even post Jimmy. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think as a Cowboys fan, like you gotta take the good with the good, the bad with the bad, but you gotta stay encouraged and you gotta realize that you're gonna be along for the ride and you can't be declaring losses. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, don't declare losses on your team because I'm like, we as fans can give up. We can say, "F this, I'm done. I'm doing mock drafts with Ashon Genty and whoever all of these people are, Emeka Ubu, whatever all these players, right? I'm done with the season." But I'm like, our guys, they can't be done with the season. They can't say, "Oh, we forfeit. Rest of the year, we done. We throw it up." You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Mhm.
they need support, guys. Like if you're a true, let me not say that because I don't want to be belittle people, but I feel like as fans, you got to support your team, even when they won in 16 or whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have it that bad, and I don't think we can't go one because we already won 3 games. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
when we get mathematically eliminated, then look to the draft. You know what I'm saying? Look to the draft then. If you want to look to the draft now because you just don't feel like there's hope, okay. But I want to say like there's always hope. And the goal to me is always every year is just try to make it. I follow this guy. I don't know if y'all know TD Barrett, but he's a video gamer. I play Madden and stuff, so I watch him.
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
funny. I love that guy. And he always says, like, bro, like when he's having a hard season or whatever, he's like, bro, I just need to make it to the dance. That's it. And it's like you just want to make it to the playoffs because
Just need a chance. You just
you
need an
can limp in
opportunity.
that hole like the Giants did in when it was at 25th, whatever, went in there 9-8.
Yeah,
You
wild
won a
card.
Super Bowl. Like you can limp
Wild
in that. You can the
card.
year McCarthy won a Super Bowl, they limped into the playoffs
Right.
and half of their team was on IR. So there's always hope. That's what I'm saying. Like there's always hope. It may not look like it now. It may be bleak, but you still got to rep your silver and blue. You still got to
Right.
be a
That's what
Cowboys
I'm
fan
talking about, man.
Right.
That's
for
what
our
I'm talking
team
about.
every year. Yeah, we can't stand Jerry. We want him to step down. Hopefully,
Yeah.
sometimes
Right.
he steps
But then we
down.
get Steven. Then we get Steven.
Right then we gonna have more problems. My only silver lining is like maybe Steven becomes the owner and he says, "Hey, Will McClay, you want to be GM?" That's my only silver lining.
Right.
I'd rather
But
have Charlotte.
I mean, I don't care. I mean, once Jerry passes, it's gonna be interesting to see how the kids handle it. And who knows? Maybe Jerry secretly gave the team to Charlotte. He ain't giving it to Steve. We don't
Yeah.
know. Jerry will, so we don't know what he really.
Right.
You know how
And you
like
know
Gene
she gonna fall back. You know she gonna fall back. Look, y'all
like
go ahead and handle. Y'all go ahead and handle on it.
I agree.
like the Lakers.
Everyone learn the best coaches and everything. But anyway, I just say like just stay encouraged, Cowboys fans. Like it's not the end of the
Yes.
world. And if people like the Cardinals and the and the Panthers, if they still can have fans, it's like you can still have pride in your team and be a Cowboy.
Right. Y'all
You know
think
what I mean?
Niners fans are out on their team? They 3-4. Y'all think they saying, oh, forget the team. They going through a plethora of injuries, y'all. And
Exactly, like we
probably more so on us.
exactly in our division. We our division is still very winnable. The Giants is not very good. Philly is up and down every week, just like us. The only
Right.
team right now that look like a super team is the Commanders, but we know they ain't a super team because when they played against real competition, it was an L.
Yeah. And
So
the tough part of their schedule is the second half of their season.
exactly. So we've yet to see, what they're gonna be. But regardless, guys, there's still hope. And we spent all off season. I don't know how y'all just give up on football that fast. Like
I ain't give up.
Right.
Hey, angry. You know how you be off in have you ever been off in church angry and the preacher ain't talking to you, but it seemed like he talking to you? That's what it sounds like Star doing right now. See, I'm in the conversation. Like she talking to me, man. I ain't give up, man. Hold on, man.
don't give up, guys. Just
Right.
go
Hey,
out
man.
there. CC content creators, brothers and sisters, just keep putting out ideas to put pressure on Jerry and to help make
Right.
things because that's all we can really do. You know what I'm saying? Like just keep and I'm not saying don't people like you want us to stop putting our foot on Jerry neck? No, continue to put your foot on Jerry neck. If y'all want to keep hashtag fire the GM, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Great. You know what I'm saying? I support that movement. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we still got to support our players because they need us. They need our support. And the fans, when the teams feel like they have genuine belief, they can perform better. I always say a lot of the times at AT&T, when we losing, you can tell we lose, we get down a score. The whole fan base, that energy is bad. It's
Yes.
bad. It's like everybody just immediately, shh, we gonna lose, we gonna lose, we
Right.
gonna lose. So I think, and that's why we perform better on the road because our fans on the road, they rep us all day because
Night and day.
they
They
in a
don't see
hostile
it.
environment. You know what I'm
They
saying?
don't
But
really
see,
see
Night
it.
and day.
we in Dallas, we sitting down. It's like that's lame, that's whack. So
Yeah.
I do think that, but just stay encouraged, and I do think that we should be able to win this game. We will win this game.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
will win. So we
Yeah.
will
It's
win
so
this.
hard.
And to your last point, Star, I love that you said that. The players, the coaches had to look in the mirror this off, this bye for this past bye week. Fans got to do the same thing. I love that point that you brought up, Star. Fans, we have to get loud at our own home stadium. Like I know we're on the road this week and for the next couple weeks, coming up. Hopefully we can continue to be those road warriors, but. That's one thing as you guys see at the home game when Michael Irvin is hyping up the home field. Like when he says we are the home field advantage, take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? You see players talk about other stadiums, the Saints Stadium. You know what I'm saying? The Seahawks pretty much have it brand, they're pretty much a brand of having the 12th man help out their team, right? Like why not just kind of create that kind of, we talk about culture, with our Cowboys, like create that home culture. You know what I'm saying? Be that advantage on third down when the opposing team is on the field. Make the noise. You don't want them to be cush. You don't want them to be comfortable out there, be able to, they're already, if we're not getting pressure on the quarterback, and at least put that pressure on his ears, put that pressure on his mind, put that pressure on the players, that kind of, they kind of have that breaking communication. So that way, we can kind of have that advantage, kind of do, quote unquote, do our job as fans, right? We're in a home stadium. Just kind of use that as our advantage.
We got to do our jobs, and we can't. You're a fan. You're a fanatic. You cannot throw in the towel on your team. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. It's
Right.
hard because Jerry pisses you off. I get it. Jerry pisses me off. He pisses everybody off. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
what does Jerry got to do with us believing and sending faith to our team? Because it's like don't nobody want to hear Jalen Tolbert. Some of y'all done did podcasts with him. Then he gets online and y'all saying he's a third or fourth wide receiver at best. Like, come on, man. Like,
Right.
kind of help these guys out. You know what I'm saying? Like, give them
It's
encouragement. You know what I'm saying? Don't just
Right.
he sucks. We shouldn't have drafted Tyler Guy. He sucks. Like this kid, since the day he was drafted, had put everything into being the best left tackle he could be. He
Right.
moved down here the day after he got drafted. The day after. Like, there's a lot of things that these men they putting their lives on the line for our entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I think about it like that, and I'm like, these kids, they giving their all. So it's like I can't give up on them. And then I say I'm a content creator, I'm new media. I can't give up on them. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep pushing. Now, once we get mathematically eliminated, then now, of course, I'm gonna give up. Go look
Exactly.
at the draft. If Mike McCarthy get fired next week, I'll deal with that next week. But I'm not about to sit here and wish that the man get fired. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just kind of stuff that's like we
Yeah.
just gotta settle down.
And
That's
we go. Me and Angry talked about that. The content creators just the negative. You know, I don't really consider them content creators. They just negative. But my bad, Angry. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
you,
Oh no, you was good. You was good. I know you gotta get going to work and everything. So
Yeah, they talking stuff in the chat about my back. Hey, my back is feeling better for all you smart asses in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Hey, my back feeling a lot better, man. You know, that FMLA helped out a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They
That
talk.
it comes in handy. It comes in handy. We need them days off. Hey,
Hey man, some days my feelings be hurt. Dallas Cowboys done cause a lot of back pain.
he crazy, bro.
Go ahead, Angry.
right. So Stargazer Sports, Cravin Cowboys. Thank you, ladies, so much. Thank you, Queen, so much for blessing this platform with your knowledge, with your insight on the Dallas Cowboys. We definitely leave the door swinging wide open for you to come back and talk Dallas Cowboy talk. But right now, we got to end the show. And
I want to
we
go
gotta
to
get
theirs
them-
too, and I would like to come to y'all. Both of us come to because they
Yeah,
have one
we,
on. What
Yeah.
they start?
yeah, we have it on. We
Yeah,
have it
Star
on
Chasers.
Star Chasers. Girls talk ball.
Right. So
Yeah, we
whenever
love.
y'all
Yeah, we would love to have y'all on. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, hey, it's definitely it goes both ways. I mean, I think I'm supposed to speak for both of us, but I speak for me. I really appreciate you guys having us on. Like I said, working with us with our schedule and just being able to kind of chop it up with you guys. Like I said, I love the collab that you guys have done, and even just speaking on this one show that we've already had together just once. Vibing. Giving everybody coming through the heavy hitters. I expect it to be a fire show. Me and Star show has been getting better as the season has gone on. But to see so many heavy hitters, come through the building, Law Nation, Botch, Lombardi, and I'm saying Cowboys Corner, I believe, was in there earlier as well. Lose Takes, came through. Landlord coming through with the super chats as well, and donations to the Cash App. So I really appreciate everybody spending their time on this Wednesday evening, especially just like I said, with the state of everything going on. Cowboys Nation. We talk about not giving up on the season. Everybody that came through, who's gave visuals tonight. Showed up tonight for us. Came in and participated, being active in the chat, even to the 49ers fans, even to the haters, Ultra Cowboy coming through, showing his love, quote unquote, as well. And the day ones as well, Nisi, JBB boy, everybody just coming through and love everybody, spending your time with us this evening. So like I said, I speak for me and, definitely appreciate you guys having us on, having me on as well.
100%.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate you guys. We definitely got to have y'all on Star Chasers. Girls talk ball. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. We gonna end the show. So we'll see you ladies later. All right, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yo, that was
I
a
like
show.
that, man. I like that,
Lord
man.
have mercy, man. Them queens come on here and it's like my head just
Yeah,
just
I just be
expanding
listening.
out.
I be forgetting. I just start listening.
Man. And Angie, thank you for your donation. It's definitely gonna go to the channel because I gotta get this camera. Y'all saw me over here glitching and everything, so I definitely gotta get this camera. Thank you so much. And you got anything to say before we shut it down?
Yeah, why they hating on me in the chat with my back, man? Talking about calling my boss and all this. Hey, man, why y'all doing that to me, man? You know what I'm saying? Somebody be like, just you know how you put channel share? Hey, Trill ain't there today? Hey, share this to him. Share this to his boss. Look where he at. Oh man, that's cool, man. That's cool, man. Yeah, but I like having them up, man. Shout out to the chat. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. We trying to just get bigger and bigger and bigger. We don't want to just be two brothers going live. We want to make it like a thing. You know what I'm saying? So we want to blow it up, man. We want to blow it up.
Yes, we do. And Sugar Daddy, thank you for that super chat. Thank you so much. Yo, what we want to do over here at the Facts Over Feelings podcast is talk Dallas Cowboy talk, but also shine a light on these content creators we have out in this space. Some things that I've seen, as a Cowboys content creator, I've seen some people go at other content creators, and that is not the environment that we want to have here. We want to bring people on, even if it's in, a friendly debate style, even if we don't agree, our takes don't agree. We still want to have people on here to spit their truth and to respect others' truth. So everybody in the chat who rocked with this, who continues to rock with the Facts Over Feelings podcast, we extremely thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And if you're not subscribed to Sports Junkie, subscribe to Sports Junkie. If you're not subscribed to the Angry Cowboys Fan, by all means, hit that subscribe button. But we got to get up out of here. Thank you guys once again. Y'all, as soon as I find this outro, we out. Hold on, I'm finding it. Something just popped up on me. Here we go. Peace.
Yo, you know we gotta give facts over feeling. Angry Cowboys fan and sports junkie straight chillin'. If you want that raw and uncut with them Cowboys facts, put your comment in the chat, cause you know we'll talk back. Leave the hating at the door and just chill with the vibe. And if you with it, hit the like button and subscribe. If facts over feeling, this is how it's designed. So buckle up everybody and enjoy the ride.